Yes, 5 p.m. Can you tell me, because I would like to not have headphones on for the Reddit portion of the day. So I'm gonna have my music playing out loud, and could you let me know if there's like an echo when I play it? Like at any point during the stream, let me know if there's an echo. Because they should overlap fine, but I don't know. There might be a weird echo, but I would like to not have to wear headphones if I don't need to. So, had a bank holiday today, so I just spent it watching Supernatural since I started yesterday. Nice. You said this was your first time seeing it? I haven't watched it, so. Yeah, I don't know why it's so much. Oh, I think I have it turned down for Elden Ring, so let me turn it up in the stream. So it's actually there in the background. There will be some construction sounds as well. They've been driving back and forth on one of their big machines since I walked in here, so we might get some construction sounds in the background too. There was one earlier where the truck was literally right outside the window here, and the mic was picking it up, like while I was setting stream up. I'm still eating breakfast, because I've been sitting in bed for the past 4 hours. I wonder if my eyes look glazed over, because they are a bit glazed over. Because just if you ever hear an echo during the stream, like if you're, because it's technically being picked up both through the regular desktop audio input and also through the mic, because I have it playing out loud so that I'm not wearing headphones, but I still want the background music. So if there's an echo, I'll turn it off playing out loud, but I would like to not have to wear headphones if I don't need to. So if there's like a delay of it coming through the mic versus playing normally, it's the only thing. I just don't want it to be annoying, because it's going to be during the entire portion of the Reddit portion of the stream, so any sort of echo would be really fucking annoying, and I can't tell from where I'm at, so. That's when we chat back and forth. I'm just sitting here. I just end up sitting here in the quiet, so it's nice to have background noise. Okay, cool. It being muffled isn't really an issue. It's just kind of there, so it's not completely dead silent when I'm not saying anything. Can you hear the construction? the vehicle that they're using right now? I don't know which one they're using right now. If it's like one of the, not like a crane, but it's like a, like it's one of those ones where they get into a bucket and then it lifts up the bucket. It might be one of those, or it might be the forklift that I've seen that goes up and down around the beginning of their day, but the beginning of their day is 5 a.m. and it's 11, so they probably would still be using it. But I've seen them use the like the big, heavy, loud forklift that they use to move the construction stuff, like the pallets of like the concrete stone pieces and shit like that. But I don't know what one they're using right now. That keeps going back and forth, and it sounds like they moved it and then parked it, because it just stopped farther up, so I don't know. Also, my poster is just slightly in frame. I don't want that. There we go. A periscope? What was that? I remember there was a streaming thing years ago called Periscope. I think it was streaming. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I stand up on the couch to look through two of them, but I can't look up at the one that's right up above me right now. Because it's a bit too high up. I'd have to go get like a stool or something to get up there. It's also higher up than the other ones too. What you mean? What you mean, rookie? It's a nice 77 degrees outside today. That's good. I'm happy that it's a bit cooler out for now. I mean, it's gonna get hotter as the week goes on again, but I feel bad for all the construction workers out there. What do you mean? What, is it big news or something? I don't really watch live streams, especially not on Twitch. I've recently started watching, oh, they felt it wasn't healthy. I mean, yeah, it can be very unhealthy. If it's your full-time job, it can be very mentally draining. And oh, are you talking about that fucking crazy guy, the Fusi or whatever? Are you talking about him? Is that his name? Fuzi or whatever? Are you talking about him? That fucking psycho? That poor man who needs to just get off the internet and stay off the fucking internet, and you would have thought he would have figured that out by now, but he hasn't. Because he's had multiple mental breakdowns because of it. And he's just mentally unwell in general, and when you're mentally unwell to the degree that he is, it's better to just not go on the internet, because the only thing that's going to get you is people fucking with you and make your mental health worse. This guy. He just had a thing that happened, I think, last week, where he, like, had a full breakdown on stream and was, like, threatening to, like, shoot himself and shit like that on stream, even though he didn't have a gun, and, like, he was making a fake 911 call because some other streamer was making fun of him, and they were threatening each other back and forth, and it was, like, this whole stupid thing. I don't think he's decided to stop streaming, though. I know he got arrested on stream, though, and taken to a mental institution, so... My camera is fine, thank you very much. I don't need to invest in a new camera. A, I ain't got the money. And B, my camera's fine, thank you very much. It's a small streamer? Oh, okay. Yeah, when you're a small streamer and it's not, like, are we talking like small like me, as in they don't make money off of it, or small as in like they make a little money off of it, but they still also have a job on top of that? Or you just mean like a 30K type small? Yeah, the webcam I'm using right now, I think. Or no, my old webcam, the one I started with, was the one on the laptop that I had. It was the one built into the laptop. The one I'm using right now is the first one I bought. So the first one I ever used was the one just built into my computer when I had the laptop. Yeah, I use that one too. I don't use it right now though. My DSLR is just, you know, not for streaming. It's got a delay when I use it for streaming. Yeah, when I used to sit down in my dorm room at the very, very beginning, I used to use the DSLR for that. But it had a delay. The video was delayed from the audio during streaming, so I decided to not use it. Because it would be really fucking annoying, from my perspective, to watch a stream where the audio and video is very much delayed from one another. I just feel like they weren't in tune with the world, and they feel they aren't in people's lives anymore, and they're capped, they just ignore them. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I don't call it a job because it's not a job for me. This is my hobby. I have a job because it's what I pay my rent with. I don't make money off of this. But this also isn't my life. Like, I'm not trying to make this my job. I'm not trying to make it big. I literally do this because I find it more fun to play games while also being able to talk to somebody. I don't rely on this for income. The money I make through this, which isn't a lot, but it's there. It's not enough to count as income. I put it back into buying games to play on stream because games are fucking expensive. So, but if I didn't enjoy doing it, I would stop doing it the same way I did with YouTube. Because at the end of the day, my YouTube was in the same position as my Twitch, as in not a lot of viewers and not a lot of income, so that's not what would be keeping me there. I'm there because of the viewers I do have and the money I do make. Like, I mean, the money's not even really in the conversation because it's not enough to count, in my opinion. But the interaction that I have is the whole fucking reason to do it, in my opinion. So, but I wasn't feeling fulfilled on YouTube anymore, so I quit YouTube. If I was feeling the same way about streaming, I wouldn't stream anymore. But I like streaming. I enjoy it. And like I said, I enjoy playing games more when I get to talk to someone than just sitting alone on my couch. I don't find that fun. I do also do that, yes. Thank you. I was wondering if anyone would notice. I did cut my hair. Thank you, Rookie. What do you mean, what are my current YouTube stats? The same as they were when I quit last year. I think I've gained like 1 subscriber. Yeah, I mean, it is dramatic. It is a dramatic change, but I'm not bald, so that's probably the only amount that you'd notice a difference in, is if I fully shaved my head. I cut a good 3 inches off. View-wise of the YouTube, it's hard to keep track when I'm not posting new stuff. And I don't check on it, so I wouldn't know. You could go check the, what's it called? That site that, like, tracks that stuff, whatever that's called. You can go check that. I don't check it, so the only time I see my stuff is when I use YouTube on my TV. I have to go past the My Videos tab to get to the, like the Watch Later playlist. So I scroll past it every once in a while, but I don't look at it, so. When your favorite stops streaming, you have to find a new one. Just how it is. It's a circle of life. What is that site called? It's gonna bother me now. What is it called? Yes, Social Blade. That's what it's called. I look more pale than usual. If you say so. I'll take your word for it. Not terrible, considering I've not posted anything in almost a year. Or you can look at my Twitter as well. I apparently have 20,910 tweets. 99% of those being retweets. I rarely tweet my own shit. Interesting. Estimated monthly earnings, 25 cents to $4. Estimated yearly earnings, $3 to $48. I mean, I guess, does that count as passive income? Because I don't check it, I don't look at it. And technically, it's money, technically. Although $4 in this economy doesn't really go very far, but... maybe a pack of gum. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot more work than you'd be led to believe. I'd say streaming is less work, but it's more draining. Because when you're live streaming, you have to kind of be on all the time. If you're good at the job anyways, I'm not always on, so that's, you know, a good indicator of why my Twitch doesn't really grow. That and the super saturated market. So it's a super saturated market. But you know, $4 will feed you for 2 days. Well, good for you. It won't feed me for 1 day. $4 does not go very far here. For American dollars, I'm sure goes farther in other places, but it does not go very far in America, let me tell you. You can get a loaf of bread, maybe. That can technically feed you for several days. Though not very healthily or fulfillingly. I can make £4 last, £4 last a long time. Soups, couscous, and rice pasta. Yeah, you can make it last, but it's not easy to. Like I can buy a week's worth of ramen, but eventually you get bored with that existence, and it's not worth it at that point. But if you're looking to like buy something, like an item, the first thing my brain went to was like gas, for example. Like, you can get a gallon of gas for $4, depending on where you live in the States. If you're in Cali, you're not even gonna get a full gallon. If you're anywhere much bigger than where I'm at, you're not gonna get even a gallon with $4 of gas. $4, because gas here is currently like $3.50 a gallon. So they don't sell them there, really. Yeah, they did say feed. You're right. Rookie did just say it would feed him for 2 days. That's fair. Yeah, and I mean, if you buy the little packs, the like, not the ones that come in the cups, but the ones that come in like the plastic packs, those are cheaper. They're like 20 cents versus 50 cents, so you can get even more of those. Like I said, you can make it work, but you're just surviving. You're not living. I really need Grandson to put out a vinyl version of his newest album, because I would really like to hang it on my wall, but he's only got the CD version, and I want the vinyl one so I can hang it on my wall. I'm trying to make my walls look pretty and filled in. Shut up! We love construction sounds. Reading is going to be interesting because I tried to get high as fuck last night so that I could fall back asleep after so what happened was, I got my hair cut after work on Sunday. So I went in at 10 a.m. after work. So I got off work at 6:30, and my haircut has been bothering me all week, so I couldn't get it out of my head. So I was like, maybe I'll go today, but the Great Clips doesn't open until 10 a.m. on Sundays. So I just sort of fucked around because I didn't get home until around 7:30 because I fucked around outside of work and like talked to people and stuff before I left. And then I stopped and got food on my way home, and then I drove home and I ate the food, and then I showered. Well, I didn't shower. I showered after I got my hair cut. But I like fucked around on TikTok for a couple hours and then debated whether I should go or not, and then decided to go. Went and got my hair cut. I got home, so I left to get my hair cut around 9:30, 9:40, so that I would get there right when they opened, so I could get in before there was a line. And I got in, and they started cutting my hair pretty much immediately, and then I left the haircut place like 20 minutes later. And then I got home, and I was like, Max, if we want to call, we should call now instead of tonight. Like, because usually Max and I will call on Sundays after I wake up, like right after I wake up before Max goes to bed, because usually I'm getting up at like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., and then Max and I will call for like an hour or something while Max gets ready for bed, and just chit-chat, especially if we didn't get to call on my way to work on some of the prior days. So I was like, I'm going to be sleeping so late because I'm already up late. Like, I'm already up longer than I would be. So if you want to chit-chat, we can do that now while I'm already up late anyways, because I'm awake enough that I'm not going to, like, fall asleep on the phone, but I will be sleeping too late to call you on Sunday. So we called for, like, 2.5 hours, way longer than we'd intended to. Because I got home and I showered, obviously, because I got my hair cut. I got an undercut done on more of my head, so I needed to wash so that I could get all the little bits off. And we called, and then and then it still took me 20 minutes to fall asleep after all of that, after having been awake for basically 20 hours, because I fell asleep around 1:30, 2 o'clock, and I'd woken up at 4 the prior day, 2 p.m., around 1:30 or 2 p.m. Is that right? Yeah. That's right. That's math. That's how the math. So I was up super late. So then I slept super late. I woke up at like 8 p.m.-ish. And I was like, eh. And then I rolled over and went back to bed. Woke up at like 9, got up and peed, came back to bed. And then was asleep till midnight. I was asleep till midnight. And then that's when my alarm went off, because that was my like hard cutoff for sleep for me. Was like, if I sleep too much longer than that, it's gonna fuck me up for sleep time. I was like, I can make 12 work. So I got up at 12. I was texting one of my friends and went out and got canes at like 1, and then I got back. I ate that. I discovered that the Lego package had been stolen in the process of, like, because I went out to get canes. I was gonna stop at the mailroom on my way home, because that's where I thought it was. I thought it was in the mailroom, because I never received a delivery notification for it, so I just assumed it ended up in the mailroom because it wasn't outside, and UPS was the one delivering it, and UPS here is supposed to take stuff for the apartments to the mailroom, because they can't put it in the mailbox because they're UPS, not USPS. So I stopped by the mailroom on my way home, discovered it wasn't there, dealt with that, got home, ate. Well, I dealt with it as much as I could at 1 in the morning. I ate, and then I watched YouTube for maybe 2 hours, maybe, and then I fell asleep on the couch. That's where I fucked up. I fucked up by falling asleep on the couch, because then I slept for 3 additional hours, approximately. Because I fell asleep around, I think, 2:30, 3 o'clock, and slept until about 5:30. And that's what fucked me up, was that nap. I should have gotten up, when I felt myself falling asleep, I should have gotten up and moved to the bedroom and gone to sleep there. Because the only reason I woke up was because I was overheating on the couch, because I was wearing a long sleeve shirt, the same one I'm wearing now, and I was underneath the thick blanket on my couch where I easily overheat. So I woke up and then I was like, fuck. And I tried to make my way into the bedroom and like change into my PJs and pee and all that shit without waking myself up too much, but it didn't work. So I came back into the living room and I got high out of my mind because I was like, maybe that'll help me go to sleep, right? Because that's the whole fucking point of the vapes that I have, is to help me sleep. And then it didn't fucking work. So I laid there high out of my mind watching ASMR on my phone for hours. I don't even know how long. It was a very long time. Probably a good 4 hours, 3 hours. Yeah, probably a good 3 hours that I laid there trying to fall asleep. It didn't work. And I was like, fine. So then I eventually gave up with that. And that's when I was like, well, I'll message Lego, see if I can contact them. It's early enough, like it's far enough into the day that I'd be able to contact them. And because some companies, you can only contact customer service during certain hours. It doesn't seem like it was that, since the person I was talking to was in London, but but I just said, fuck it, I'll just go on and get up. And then after, because I'll probably stream until 6 like I usually do, maybe 5 since it's starting so early, and then nap. I'll take a nap before I go out and get dinner or something like that. Or I'll go out and get dinner early, and then once I fill up on dinner, I'll fall asleep and take a nap. So then I'm rested, but not so rested that I can't go to sleep at the correct time tonight. So it's not like a complete fuck up of my entire existence to have that sleep mess up, but it's just inconvenient, of course. But because I got so incredibly high, even though I'm not high anymore, my eyes still have that like glaze on them. Like when I look at stuff, like when when you get really, really tired, your vision starts to kind of get not blurry, but like the lights and stuff start to look weird. It essentially is like that. So I'm not really like tired per se, not any more than usual. But my eyes are still doing the weird shit that it does when I get high. I call it a high hangover, which happens to me sometimes. Like I'll wake up the next day with a headache occasionally. Although I woke up with a headache last week and it wasn't because I was high. I just woke up with a headache. But I noticed it happens more if I go to bed high and get too high. I'll wake up with a headache the next morning. But right now it's just the weird vision shit, so. Can you hear the truck? Can you hear it? It's interesting to be able to watch it progress, though, because they're on the 3rd floor now. They're working on constructing the outside part of the 3rd floor. Last time I looked at it anyways, so they've got the parking garage, not done, but the outside is assembled, right? And they're still on the wood stage of building stuff. They've not started doing insulation or any of that stuff yet that I can see anyways from the outside. But it's been interesting to actually like watch it go up, because for whatever reason, I don't feel like I've ever lived somewhere, because even though my parents' house was there before a lot of our neighbors' houses were, they got to watch those houses get built, but I was still too little to like notice, right? Or remember. But I think this is the first time that I've lived close enough to a construction site that I see it basically every day. Every time I leave my apartment, I'm able to see it. So I actually notice the change in the progress. So it's been interesting to sort of watch and listen to, of course. I get to hear it every morning, but yeah, it was on the dot at 5 a.m. today. Or not today. It was, when was it? Or was it just 6 a.m.? Again, I was high out of my mind, so the memory is not very concrete. But I remember right on the hour was when I heard the first construction sound today. It was either 5 or 6, but I woke up after 5, so it would have had to be 6. I don't know. Usually they start at 5 o'clock, though. So. Which makes sense. good to get an early start before the peak of the day hits and it's too hot to breathe outside. Though I don't think it's supposed to get too bad today. Let's see. Yeah, the high is only 85 today. But that's going to go up as the week goes on. The high will start being in the 90s once September starts on Friday. And we've got a high of 97 on Sunday and a high of 97 on Monday. Gross. With highs in the 90s that whole week. From Friday the 1st through what I can see, which is Wednesday the 6th. It's all high in the 90s. Disgusting. I am ready for summer to be over. That's for sure. I'm ready to enter my season. Give me fall. Give me fall. I'm ready. But yeah, I got so the hair difference, some of it's me, some of it was the actual person I had cut it. I went to the salon and I went to the Great Clips. And I had them give me more undercut, but because I didn't really know what I wanted going in and I didn't know how the undercut, like getting the undercut would affect the length of my hair, I didn't really know how to communicate that I wanted the hair shorter, so I didn't because I'm a pussy. And I hate inconveniencing service workers, even though they're doing me a service, and if they're not doing the service, like, because it wasn't like she was doing it wrong. She wasn't. She was doing exactly what I asked her to, but then when she was like, is this good? I was just like, oh yeah, it's great, instead of being like, oh no, could you make it shorter? So I just cut it when I got home. And so now it's ended up a bit shorter than I probably would have had the professional cut it if I had chosen a length for the professional to cut it to. But to be fair, the undercut's a little bit shorter than I would have liked anyways. I would like it to be a little longer. Also, this needs to go the fuck away. These like 3 hairs. But I would have liked the undercut to be a bit longer. But while the longer hair grows out, the undercut will also grow out. And I think we'll be at about the right length in about a month, maybe 2. Will be exactly where I want it to be. Although, because like the reason I wanted the hair shorter was because when I would pull it up into a bun, just a shitty little man bun, it wasn't like good. It was too long. The hair at the end was too long, and I had to adjust it so that it wasn't like going down onto my neck because it was just too fucking long. So I kind of cut it based on how long I wanted the bun to be, which is why we ended up with face length hair instead of closer to shoulder length hair, which is what I've had for such a long time, or at least what feels like such a long time. It feels like it's been a very, very long time, because it's the first haircut I've gotten or done since I moved up here to Omaha, because I haven't even cut it myself since I moved, which is why it was getting so out of control, because I hadn't cut it shorter in a while. But she did exactly what I asked her to, so I tipped her $10 because she did exactly what I wanted, so it looks great. She didn't, not exactly what I wanted, but exactly what I told her I wanted. Which is all she can do. She's not a mind reader. So, I tipped her the maximum amount, like it listed like $3, $5, and $10, or $2, $5, $10, something like that. I picked the highest one because I was like, it was only a $20 haircut, and I'm not going to be back for several months, so I'll just full tip it. And like it was also nice because I was exhausted because I had been awake for so long at that point. And she wasn't super like conversationalist or anything. She asked a couple questions that weren't necessarily hair related per se, but she wasn't super chatty, which I appreciated because I was so fucking tired. Trying to keep up conversation would not have worked out well, I don't think. So I appreciated that. Usually I'm fine with a chatty person cutting my hair. I usually have no issue with that, but just because I was basically asleep already, it was nice to have someone who didn't really want to chit chat all that much. So I appreciated that. But I got, let's see if I can even show it. God, the hair. I'm still not used to how short I cut it. Because I cut it quite short. But I got a bit of a design. I don't know if you can see the back of my head or not. So not really much of a design, but I got it pointy instead of it just being a straight line. Because I wanted it to come up to the sides of my head. Because I've got too much fucking hair. Which she actually said while she was cutting my hair. She was like, you have a lot of hair, so this is taking a little while. And I said, that's okay. Do it to the best of your ability. It's all right. I said, take your time. I'm just gonna go home and go to bed after this anyways. So, it was a success. I quite like the new haircut. I think I'll like it more once I've got it up more often and because it's hot. It's hot. It's very hot outside. In case anyone wasn't aware of that. Which I'm sure you all are. But, you know. Okay, maybe I'm a little tired right now, but, you know, when am I not a little tired? Has that ever been a thing? I don't think it has. I do wonder what it's like to feel rested. I am curious what that's like. Because I don't feel like I ever feel rested. Like, maybe for like 3 minutes sometimes I'll sit there and I'm like, or like I'll wake up and I'm like, oh yeah, I can get up and go. I usually don't do that. I don't usually get up and go when I am in that mood, so it doesn't last very long. But you know, I wonder what it must be like to wake up in the morning and go, ah, oh, I feel rested. I'll tell you what, I haven't experienced that time. Not any time recently. So are y'all gonna chit chat with me, or are you just gonna listen to me ramble? Because I can ramble. You know I can. It's a skill of mine. How's the Mexico look with this time of day? Turn off desk. Makes a bit of a difference. Not much of one, but a little bit of a difference. I look a little more ghoulish without the light on, I think. I think I look a little more dead. Yeah, I look a little more alive with the color from the bulb. I mean, it's not really a color because it's a white bulb, but, you know. I look a little less gray this way, I think, with the light on. But, I really need to hang up that other poster. But I don't know if I want to put it right there or not. I'm still not used to that. For some reason, there's a couple of the lights in my apartment like to click randomly. Usually it's like right after I turn it on or turn it off, it'll click like a minute later or something. But sometimes it'll just click randomly. Like I wasn't over there anytime recently turning lights on and off, but I just heard a click come from over there, and it's the same click that I hear every time it does that. And I don't know why. I don't know why. But I'm still not used to it. Looking for the... I might buy that. Well, no, that would break my rule. I can't buy that, actually. Pluto, unlike Pluto, said he's going to be putting out vinyls for a couple of his albums. But I only buy vinyls for albums that I listen to in their entirety. And his albums are so fucking long that it's just, like, not possible. This was also just at the beginning of the month, so that's not available yet. We might break the rule for Pluto, just because I haven't ever bought any merch from him, because when I went to try to buy merch from him, it was fucking sold out and never restocked. So we might just buy it just cause, depending on how expensive it is. We might break the rule this one time, just this one time, and only because it's a artist that we're literally listening to right now. First of all. But also one that I've been listening to since freshman year of college, maybe even before that. So an artist who somehow always has a song in my rotation, regardless of, unless the rotation is just an album, like a specific, like one of my rotation was Demi Lovato's album. He didn't have any in that rotation, but anytime it's a rotation that's, you know, a variety of songs, there's always at least one Pluto song in it, if not two. So plus, this is America. We make rules to break them. That's the whole fucking point of America and English and the rest of my life. So why the fuck wouldn't that be true for this as well, right? Did y'all see Trump's mugshot? Probably not. I mean, maybe. I don't know if it made international news. It probably did, because it's fucking funny. But, I should really make a group for this, because I've got a lot of tabs open for Elden Ring. What? Why did it name it that? It named it Tolkien's Middle Earth. That doesn't make any sense. Looks like an angry farmer. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. There we go. Now I can collapse him down. There we go. Looks a lot nicer now. So this is what I've been dealing with. Is all these tabs that I keep open so I don't forget where I'm at and what I'm working on in the Elden Ring playthroughs, but I just put them into a group, so now I can just collapse them down. And now these ones are a bit bigger. So when I'm not playing Elden Ring, which isn't very often, of course, right now, but but I have easier access to my other ones, so I'm less likely to accidentally X out of them. Although I can honestly X out of my site on here, because I don't really use it on the computer anymore. Because I've discovered, which I love, by the way, that I can cast my site from my phone to my TV. We love it. Which means I don't have to find a way to plug my TV into my phone, or my TV into my computer. And I can control it from my phone like it's a... And I also discovered that when I cast it from my phone to the TV, I can control what I'm watching still with the TV remote, which is awesome. Like, I can pause and play with the TV remote. I don't have to, like, open my phone for it. Love it. I love it. It's great. Now, of course, the caveat is, of course, I'm casting it from my phone, so sometimes there's lag here and there, which isn't common. I've not noticed it a lot lately, but I've also not used it a fuck ton either. But that's how I watched, and will finish watching, which I probably will do tonight, actually, the show My Adventures with Superman. I watched all the first 7 episodes of that, and I'll be watching the last 2 probably tonight or tomorrow night, using the casting from my phone thing. And then I started watching Trixie Motel, which I don't know if I'm going to finish it or not. Because I don't know if it's my vibe. Ooh, do I want to watch this Bose video during work? Or... That's funny. Let's see. Oh no, it's got a video, so I'll be watching it at home. Although I think I've seen this specific... She's reacting to a Karen. I think I've seen this Karen. I think when I go back in a few months to get my haircut again, I think I'll have them bring it up a bit farther. Like bring up the undercut a little bit farther, because I want to be able to swoop it to one direction and not still have long hair coming down the other side. So I think I might have them bring it up a little higher on both sides. Not a lot higher, just a little bit higher. Like, what is that? Like, less than an inch higher on both sides. Again, this haircut that I did just recently was more of an exploratory thing than a definitive thing, because I've never had this hairstyle or haircut before, so I wanted to try it out. See, like, if I swoop my hair this way, I want this to not be here. Like, I want this to be gone. But I didn't have a way to know that going in when I went in on Sunday, so it was something I had to discover later. But I am happy with how it is currently. I will let it grow out for a little while before I go cut it again. So I wonder if I would like the Ahsoka show. Because, like, it's Star Wars, right? But I don't know anything about Star Wars, really. Like, I've watched the original trilogy and stuff, of course. But I've not watched any of the, like, I've watched the original trilogy. Have I seen the original trilogy? Yeah, I've seen the original trilogy. It's just been a while. And then, the prequels are the ones. It's been a while. I've seen the prequels, I've seen the original trilogy, and I've seen the newest trilogy, unfortunately. But that's all I've seen from Star Wars. I've not watched any of the other stuff or anything like that. Like, I've not watched Clone Wars or any of that. So I wonder if just jumping into Ahsoka would be confusing or overwhelming, or make it less entertaining, because I don't really know the characters and stuff. But I don't know. Thank you, Rookie. I appreciate it. Just had to get milk and eggs to make Toad in the Hole. Well, you missed a lot, I'm sure, because I don't know when you left, but I've told many a story since you left, so you'll have to watch the VOD, I guess. Because I don't remember what all I said. That's the main reason, is I don't remember where I started and what all happened, and I'm surely not going to say it again. That's not going to be happening. So. Also, the Flash movie is on my site, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to watch it or not. Yeah, this is just what it normally looks like. It's naturally wavy. It's not naturally curly. Just wavy. I love going to get my hair cut by professionals, though, because they always comment on how gorgeous my hair is, and I'm like, thank you, I do nothing with it. I brush it most days, and then I just walk around. But my hair has got a little bit of red in it, and stuff like that. And she was like, "It looks like you have highlights in," and I was like, "No, it's all natural." I got the red gene, which wasn't passed on from my just one great, from my great grandmother. She had red hair. And I don't remember if my mom's mom had red hair or not. I'd have to ask her. I don't know. I don't think she did. Because when my mom has mentioned my hair color, she mentioned getting it from my great grandmother. So I don't know. I don't think she passed it on to Marjane. Well, Marjane might have had a little bit of red. But my mom doesn't. There's no red on my dad's side of the family. So I got a little bit of it though, just a little bit, just a sprinkle of it, just enough of it, I guess, to count. Huh? You got eyes for beauty, don't we all? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so you know. Friendly Space Ninja put out a video. Was it Friendly Space Ninja? Yes. Yes? Yes. Yes. It was Friendly Space Ninja put out a video recently. Let's find it. Where he talked about Hollywood flops. Like of 2023. Yeah, the inevitable failure of 2023 blockbusters. He put it up 4 days ago. It's an hour and a half long. And he talked about The Flash in it a little bit. But he talked about a variety of movies in it. Of course, it's an hour and a half long. But hearing about how big of a failure the Flash movie was and all of the shit it went through before it even got to theaters is just wild. And then 2 days ago, he put out a Riverdale video 2 days ago talking about the final season. But we got 2 Friendly Space Ninja videos in a week. I feel spoiled. We usually get like 1 or 2 a month. If he's not working on a super mega sized one. Then we might not see him for a couple months. Well, because they'd spent so much fucking money on it already. It was incredibly expensive to make for some reason. Riverdale finally ending. Boy, I got something to watch, yeah. Espanol. It stopped. One of the construction workers was shot, not the other one, I assume. So they could have written it off as a tax write-off. I mean, they had to know they were going to lose money when they released it. Because once Ezra decided to lose their goddamn mind, like, and do crimes, which they should be locked up for, by the way, they should have known better. Like, they obviously couldn't recast Ezra at that point because they'd already made the fucking movie. The movie was already done, basically. But they should have just sent it straight to streaming. I feel like they would have had better luck that way. Because it would have been cheaper to send it to streaming for them. Like, it's cheaper to release something to streaming than it is to put it in theaters, which is why a lot of times, like, if a service knows that they're not going to make a lot of money off something, they'll send it straight to streaming because it saves them money to not loan it out to theaters. Disney have apparently removed films from Disney Plus that weren't performing well and used them as a tax write-off even though it was released. Interesting. Oh yeah, I think I remember hearing about that. I mean, that was one of the many reasons I didn't go see the movie in theaters, was because of the Ezra stuff. I figured if I was going to ever see it, I would just watch it at home for free through my site. But I don't know that I care enough. I think if they use Sasha to play Supergirl in a Supergirl movie, I might watch like the back half of this movie to sort of get her storyline, assuming that her movie isn't like a prequel to this or something. I assume it isn't, because the whole point of this movie was to sort of reset the universe. Then maybe I will, because I'll absolutely watch a Supergirl movie with Sasha in it, because I've only heard praise about her performance in The Flash. The only time I've heard anyone talk shit about her performance in The Flash was when they were talking about it in relation to like the writing. Like the dialogue wasn't very good sometimes, which isn't her fault. Like there's only so much an actor can do with shitty dialogue. You know, so you know, we have to wait another generation for a better Flash movie, probably. I mean, this movie has been in the one that just came out has been in development since like 2013, I think is when it was announced. 2013 or 2016 or something like that. 2013, something like that. So it's been in the works for a very long time. It's gone through a lot of different rewrites, a lot of different directors, a lot of things, to be honest. But you know, we saw how that went. I hope that James Gunn gets a firm grip on the Supergirl movie, and really like him and Snyder. I hope they get together and really go hard on the Supergirl movie, because I want the nitty gritty, comic accurate Supergirl movie where she's just an angry powerhouse who can absolutely body anybody in a second, because that's how she is in the comics for the most part. So, you know, certain parts of the Flash TV show are a better version of the Flash movie. But, I mean, if we're talking about visual effects, honestly, the Flash show probably did a better job, because I don't think I'll ever get over the fact that the Flash movie decided to put their entire third act in a literal like desert wasteland. I wonder how long it will take to kill off a load of film companies. I'm not sure. I'll be interested to see all these strikes and the lack of good movies, yeah. And the pushing back of good TV shows, and like shows that we're already waiting years to see anyways. I wonder if Arcane's gonna get pushed back at all, because I've not really heard any. I was gonna rewatch Arcane last night while I built my Lego thing, but then I discovered my Lego thing was stolen, so I didn't do either. I haven't heard any updates about it though, but I assume it would be pushed back because of all the strikes. We don't know exactly when yet. Okay, they still haven't said anything. Yeah, but no, they won't ruin it. They'll just halt production on it. I trust not Netflix. I don't trust Netflix. I trust Riot. I trust Riot, quite frankly, more than I trust Netflix. I trust Riot to be like, no, we're not putting this out until it's done, or you know, like I trust Riot to protect Arcane season 2 instead of letting Netflix pull in non-union writers to work on it. Because it's at the end of the day, Netflix is the distributor. Riot is the one creating it. To my knowledge, Netflix is not the producer. I don't think they are part of production necessarily. I think they're just the distributor of the show. So, and a lot of shows, like a lot of HBO's shows, for example, Last of Us, for example, is on pause at the moment because of all the strikes. But I would rather it pause and the people working on these shows and working in these movies that we love and that we wait years for sometimes, I would rather the people who are working on those get paid what they are owed and not get fucked in the future because they don't have any royalties because of the way royalties work with streaming and whatnot, than have a shittier version of a show because I didn't want to wait. You know what I mean? Like, people will sit and wait 6 years for a new season of one anime, right? But they won't give 2 years to a high quality, high budget, high production show that, you know, that just put a new season out like last year, you know? And I think that's a bit ridiculous, but because when did yeah, for example, One Punch Man released season 2 back in 2019, right? Like, that was a long fucking time ago. Let's see. And season 3 is supposed to come out, I think, this year or next year. So, you know. What do you mean? They're making a season 3 of One Punch Man. Not even got to the Fantastic Four, which was Disney Plus, Disney's main reason for buying Fox. Yeah. I'm hoping that will... I guess renaissance isn't the right word, but I'm hoping we hit a resurgence of good superhero movies in a couple years. Like, part of me kind of just wants all superhero movies that are being produced by major companies like Disney and Sony and Fox and all them, like, just kind of took a break from the superhero stuff and focused more on original content, and then jump back into superhero stuff in a few years once people are, like, starting to miss it, you know? Because, I mean, Disney has said they're going to pull back a little bit on Marvel stuff because they realized they were, A, spread too thin, and B, not making good shit over the past couple years during all of Phase 4, pretty much. And then the first movie of Phase 5 being Ant-Man Quantumania, not really much, not really great. Yeah, that was something that Friendly Space Ninja talked about a lot in his video that I mentioned, was the spending too much, because these days for a quote-unquote blockbuster to make money, not just to break even, but to make money, they have to make 2.5 times their budget, which, because all these movies are costing so much now, is near impossible. So you've got a movie that brings in $700 million, and that's great, right? For most movies, that's an insane amount of money, but when it costs $300 million to make, they didn't even make their money back, and that's not even accounting for, that's just a production budget. That's not even counting advertising budget, you know? And so they do need to cut back on spending, because there's no reason for that, especially when the people working on the movie aren't even making any fucking money. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we have strikes. That's why they're striking right now, because people are not making money when they should be making money. But somehow the production budgets keep going up and up and up and up. I don't understand it. But I will be going to see the Marvels when it comes out in November. I feel like the Marvels is my last hurrah, because I didn't go see Wakanda Forever. I didn't go see it in theaters. I shouldn't have gone to see Quantumania in theaters, but I did. Kind of wishing I hadn't, but it looked fine on a big screen, I guess. I don't know. But I think my hopes are a little higher for the Marvels, because it looks more buddy cop. Like, it looks like a buddy cop type movie, more than it does a superhero Marvel movie, if that makes any sense. It will probably still end up being a superhero Marvel movie, but the vibes I get from the trailers is more buddy cop-ish. That I like Brie Larson, so, you know, I am what I am. But I think, well, technically, I honestly like all the main three. I enjoy Kamala, and I enjoy her energy, even if I didn't love her show all that much. I enjoyed that actress, and I enjoy her character, as well as Rambo. Is it Maria Rambo, or is that the mom? Whatever her first name. I think her name's Maria Rambo, but that might be her mom, the one that Captain Marvel was friends with on Earth before she became Captain Marvel. I don't know, it's been a while. But I like all three of those characters, and I've liked the trailers I've seen of it, so which is why I'm going to go see it in theaters. Plus, I don't think anything else is coming out in November, so it doesn't hurt to go see one in theaters when I saw 4 movies in theaters over the past month and a half or something like that. So, you know, but definitely interested in seeing where that goes. And Loki season 2 coming out soon, as well. I still haven't watched Secret Invasion. I don't know if I'm going to bother. I wouldn't say fans have moved on from One Punch. I assume you just don't know how the anime community works, because fans don't move on from anime. I've not found anyone who's ever, if you haven't noticed, things like One Piece are still on and still have a loyal fan base after like 20 goddamn motherfucking years. And now Netflix is putting out a version and people won't shut up about it. Anime fans don't let go. That's not a thing. That is not a thing. Especially for one that with the kind of popularity that One Punch has. I certainly haven't let it go. I'm excited for the next season, even if we don't get it for another year. The new season of Invincible is supposed to start coming out here soon, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm interested in seeing the expansion of that universe. I think it starts to come out in like the next month. This month, something like that. Because they put out that episode about Adam Eve November 3rd. Okay, it also starts airing soon, so in November. A couple months. Yeah, I was right. I knew it was before the end of the year. And so obviously I'm looking forward to that. I still need to watch Good Omens. I need to rewatch season 1 and then watch season 2. I need to watch the new season of Yellow Jackets, which has been out for a while. I'm very behind on a lot of things. Yeah, I don't keep up with dates for a lot of stuff. I keep up with dates on the animated stuff, like stuff that's, because Invincible, the first season came out so long ago that it's like, oh, it's finally time for stuff to start coming out. Also, like, there's only one more episode of Attack on Titan, but we're not really sure when that comes out yet. I can't seem to find a definitive answer on that anywhere. There's like 2 or 3 different answers to that, like when is it coming out, and things like that. Like there's a couple that I know the dates of, but for the most part I don't really keep up with it. Is it a season 2 of Good Omens more standalone, so I don't really need to rewatch season 1? Because that would make it easier to get into season 2, I think, if I don't have to rewatch season 1. Less of a commitment. Okay, I might just not rewatch it then, because, I mean, it's not like season 1's super long or anything, but I'm just me, and I struggle to have the energy to watch things anymore. I end up just scrolling through TikTok or watching YouTube, usually, instead of watching a show. That said, like I mentioned earlier, I am on the verge of rewatching Arcane, which I think I'm going to do while I build this new Lego set, even though I should just watch Good Omens season 2 while I build the Lego set. My brain's been kind of stuck on Arcane, so I probably need to watch that, get it out of my head. But you know, Okay. Cool. I'm just excited to see Sheen and Tenet on screen again together because they've got really good chemistry with one another, and I love all the stuff I see of them on, like, stuff that they've done in between the 2 seasons. That, like, little things that they've done together that are really fun that I see on TikTok all the time. They just have really good chemistry with one another. You should. Arcane is really good. Arcane is about as high quality as it comes, so. Not to mention the soundtrack fucking slaps. Which is actually why I got back into it. Was I was listening to music at work one day because for whatever reason YouTube wasn't cutting it. And my brain was like, ooh, I want to listen to that song. Just one of the songs off of the Arcane soundtrack. And so then I've just been listening to the Arcane soundtrack on repeat. I started Watchmen. I got about, I think, halfway through it. And then I just never went back to it, and I don't know why. It really wasn't hitting for me. Like, I think the problem with Watchmen for me was it had so much hype that when it wasn't living up to that hype, I kind of fell out of it. Same way that if, like, for example, any of the Marvel shows, for example, if I hadn't been doing reactions to those, I probably wouldn't have finished most of them. I would have finished She-Hulk. I probably would have finished Hawkeye, because Max and I watched that in one sitting. But I probably wouldn't have finished most of the Marvel shows, to be honest, if I wasn't reacting to them. Also, like, Wynonna Earp. There's only a few episodes of it left, but I have no desire to go back and finish it. I won't go back and watch more League of Legends. The fuck? Legends of Tomorrow. I won't be finishing that. I won't finish Lucifer. I have no desire. I don't know why. I just lost interest in all of those. Well, I mean, from what I've heard, the first 4 seasons of Supernatural are high quality television, especially when you consider the fact that it is a CW show. It makes CW look like it makes it seem like CW knows how to make good content, which is misleading, to be honest. Yes. You heard me. The first 4 seasons are considered the best. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Because everyone I've spoken to about it who watched the show, because my friend Kelsey from college, she was a Supernatural fan, but even she would have been like, even she would be like, you don't need to watch all 15 seasons. That's not necessary. Like, maybe the first 5 or 6. Like, you don't really need to watch past that. Like, there's not a reason. Like, it's not worth it. Unless it's like one of those shows you throw on in the background while you're doing shit, then you can maybe do that. You know. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you anything about any plot points, so I really couldn't. I could not tell you about any plot points because I've not seen it. So, I mean, I kind of know how the show ends because I watched a number of videos about the show, and I remember watching one while I was working at Kroger that went into pretty explicit detail of the finale. So I know how the finale ends and how unhappy people were with the series finale, but you know, it was one of those shows that was really, that the fan base got really wrapped up into the ships to the point that it got kind of toxic. But you know, it's good mystery at times. I mean, like I said, I've only heard people talk highly of the first 4 seasons. Like, I know people don't tend to badmouth those first 4 seasons, so I don't doubt that it is a good show. And I mean, there aren't shows that are complete garbage that go on for 15 years, you know what I mean? Like, there has to be something about them that's decent to go on for 15 seasons, you know what I mean? And I think, from what I know about it, it's more of a, like, week-to-week basis show with the occasional overarching conflict or overarching storylines and stuff like that, but they still have, like, Monster of the Week type stuff throughout the whole show, because they're, like, demon hunters or whatever. So there's that. And those kinds of shows tend to be able to last a little longer. Yeah. Sorry, I'm bouncing my foot on the desk. I wonder if Rot will join us. Construction. My chin ages. I know this comes up a lot, but I miss S.H.I.E.L.D. I miss it. I miss the good old days. A Twitch channel? I doubt any of it's like, is any of it like really stupid? Like you can't swear or something like that? Because there's a lot of reasons to, there are a lot of things you can ban that that are completely understandable. I feel like blocking swearing is only appropriate if your content is like targeted more towards like kids. But I think you have to be 13 to use Twitch, so there's not really any of that. And honestly, even then, you know, like swearing around kids, like, you know, who cares? Like, I feel like I need an example, because, like, what? Like a specific example. You can always link it in the Discord, and I can just go see for myself what's listed. Oh yeah, I would absolutely be banned from anywhere if swearing wasn't allowed. Typing in uppercase. Yeah, that's a weird one. Although I don't like it when people do that either in my chat. But y'all don't do it, so I don't have to set it as a rule. I don't like it. It makes it's harder to read when it's in all caps. Oh, not even all caps? Just uppercase at all? Oh, I've absolutely been swearing. I swear as if it's like I swear like I'm Scottish. Like it's just part of my language. Like I don't even think about it. It's just how I talk. So any capital letters at all is a bannable offense? Because I can understand banning all caps because there are some people who like literally can't read it if it's in all caps. Like I know that for like dyslexia, I think it is, having capital letters, like all cap letters, makes it harder, question mark. I think I heard that once before. I find all caps harder to read in general. Not impossible to read, but harder to read. So if it was like if I had a really big chat where that was a more common thing, I would be inclined to ban it just because I find it really hard to read long swaths of text when there's like no punctuation, or it's in all caps. I find it really hard to read for me. I clicked mute. Mute, bitch. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. I don't think you can. I'll just mute the tab. Let's see. We love a proper setup. I'd love to see it. She's got 1.7k followers. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Rules. No insults of the Russian nation. Is she Russian? Is that why? Maybe. That could be why. Can you imagine if I banned making fun of America? That'd be so funny. I'd have to ban myself from my own stream. Insults of the Russian nation. See, usually when I talk shit about Russia, I'm usually talking about Putin, not the country of Russia. Usually I'm talking shit about their dictator leader, Putin. When I say Russia, I usually mean Putin, not the Russian people or the Russian nation as a whole. I usually just mean Putin himself. Payments from Twitch blocked since April for Russian streamers, so subscriptions that you renew. Oh, that's right, I forgot that Twitch did that, which is kind of rude. Because I think part of the, like, because, you know, they're invading Ukraine for absolutely no fucking reason. For example, I believe Twitch stopped. That's why Russian streamers are not receiving payments, because of the tax money, because the government taxes that income. So by cutting off that version of income, the government doesn't get money from Twitch. But I think that's kind of rude to punish the people who live there for the decisions of their stupid fucking dictator that they didn't even elect. But there are other ways you can make money like that. Like you can have your people donate through something else instead of just directly through Twitch. You can donate to Twitch. You just can't. It looks like payments from Twitch have been blocked since April, meaning you can't pull your money out of Twitch. It is forbidden to insult the fallen in battle and veterans of either side. I mean, yeah, that's fair. Asking where I live, geolocation, and other private info. Finding out my origin. People are going to ask you questions about yourself. You're a streamer. That's half the point. Don't count other people's money on stream. Weird. It's specific. That's specific. Insults to the streamer and her friends. Interesting. You can tell these rules were not written in English originally. For stream sniping equals a ban and minus reputation for those who do not have the honor. I'm not sure what that means other than stream sniping. I know what stream sniping is. Can I help you? Cutting clips from stream for provocative purposes. For this, you will receive a special ban on creating clips in the future. Fair. Any criticism of the streamer, if you don't like something in particular, then just leave from the channel. Don't take it out on the streamer. That's also fair. I like to entertain people who come in and want to say transphobic stuff. I find it fun and funny. But if you're just going to come in and be rude and not even in a fun way, then we'll ban you. That's how it works here, is once you're not fun anymore, then we'll ban you. But I can understand, like, not wanting to put up with that, especially as a female streamer. I can understand not wanting to put up with that. Like, people coming in and asking for tit pics or like coming in and just being mean. I can completely understand not wanting to have to put up with that, and just because it's true. If you don't want to watch or you don't like something, you can just leave. Yeah, I get they are super extreme rules, but some of these I can understand, and some of them are I just don't understand what they mean. Any criticism of the streamer, I do wonder how they police any criticism, what that means. At the moment, we have more happening in chat than they do, but that might be why. It's also a followers only chat, but that I should still be able to see the chat even if I'm not following. So it doesn't seem like there's any chat going on. I think I'm one of the 4 viewers that she has right now is me, because I've got the stream open. Let's see. Any mention of other streamers or video bloggers? Any mention? That's what I mean. Like, I wonder how aggressively this is modded for, because I doubt this person has more than a couple mods like me. Like, most of my mods are people who are always here and are usually the only people here. So I wonder how they go about policing that. Like how strict they are, I should say. Pricking / whining about changing games or trolling in the chat will get banned. That's also fair. I know a lot of streamers put up with that. A lot of bigger streamers put up with, like, they're doing something and then people are like, you should play this game, or why are you playing this? You should switch over, or why are we just chatting still? You should switch over to, like, and that can get really annoying after a while. But that's usually only something I see people banned for after it becomes, like, super repetitive and you essentially become a spammer at that point. So you're not getting banned for saying let's change games. You get banned for spamming let's change games. So I'd be curious to see how aggressive they are with enforcing these rules. Spoilers from games, movies, or TV shows, also fair, although we talk about spoilers all the time, but that's because I don't give a shit. Uppercase messages. See, that's what I mean. Like, uppercase at whole, or like full caps, because again, as we've already discussed, full caps is really annoying. Spamming links to third-party resources, that's a common thing. You can just block people from being able to put links in your chat. You don't need to make that a blockable offense. You can just make it where people can't post links in your chat. We have that here. You're only able to post links in chat if you get permission, which is why we have the Discord. That's what the Discord's for. Spamming the same phrases over and over again. Ave to someone, glory to someone, zip, fail, and so on. Respect others, they're not interested in your slogans. Again, that's more of just a more specific version of a spam ban, which is understandable. Spamming emoticons for more than one line. Specific. We appreciate specifics. Political debates, national and religious disputes. Also fair. Especially if she's Russian. I'm sure she gets a lot of people being like, fuck Russia, blah, 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 blah. How dare Russia invade Ukraine? As if the Russian people made the decision. So I think for the streamer specifically, I can understand a lot of these. Also, I think Russophobia is such a funny word. That's so funny. I don't know why. I just find it amusing. To call insult of Russia, Russophobia. I find that amusing. But yeah, I see what you mean now, Rookie. It's a lot of rules. A lot of abnormal rules, I would say. A lot of rules that a lot of bigger streamers don't tend to have, because they tend to police a lot of these things in either a different way, or they just ignore the people who are doing stuff like this, or they're like me and they entertain people who are rude or annoying, for example. Is she playing Battlefield 5? Oh, my brain went to the mobile game where you play in tanks. I don't know why. I don't know why that's where my brain went, but, you know. We've got an ad right now. It's playing an ad. Do you ever get ads during my streams? Because I don't have it. I don't ever click for ad breaks. She's living in Russia? Probably. I mean, I don't have it. I can't hear her, so I assume... Is she speaking in Russian? Is she speaking at all? I can't even tell. Because, again, I'm not listening to it, so... More streams that start this early? No, that won't be happening. What is this an ad for? Because I'd watch it, whatever it is. Oh, it's a fucking mobile game. Damn it. It was a dope animation. I was like, I'd watch this. But it was just an ad. For a thing. It's 12:30 p.m. You don't get ads for any stream? Nice. Well, I'm watching an ad right now, so... And there's another minute and a half of ads. Which is funny because I watched it when I came in here. Into her lobby a minute ago. Almost none of the people I follow are live right now, which is interesting. Only one is. This is too early. Yes, this is too early. I'm usually not awake. I mean, usually we start pretty close to now. Usually we start at 1 p.m. and it's 12:40 right now, so... That's fair. I get that. I understand that, Rookie. That's cool. It's a good way to do it, actually. This is where we're at now. Isn't too far off from where I would normally start a stream, but because I usually start around 1 or 2 p.m. if I can. This ad is interesting. I don't know why my chin is so itchy at the moment, but it's annoying. I don't think I've seen her talk yet. That said, I also struggle to find things to talk about when there's no one in my chat saying anything. But she's not even reacting to anything in the game. Play Detroit. There we go. There's a bannable thing, Rookie. There you go. Jarek just broke this other streamer's rules. It's 6:39 p.m. and you start streaming for me about 8 p.m. Yeah, usually. Oh, that's cool. I can't tell if she's just not good at this game or if this game is hard, because I've never played Battlefield 5. I also don't understand how Battlefield 5 works, so... I do find it interesting that the Russian streamer who demands you don't say anything bad about Russia is currently playing a war game, but, you know, it is what it is. Like, I feel like if she wasn't so, like, you can't talk shit about, like, if she wasn't so aggressive about, like, no shit talking Russia, I feel like it wouldn't matter. But her using the term no Russia phobia in her rules is funny. And that's the first time I've ever seen that word, Russophobia. Because, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people don't like Russia. And by Russia, I mean the Russian government. And even before the war. Even before they invaded Ukraine. People didn't like Russia. So... I also just think it's cute to like stream from Russia in Russian with everything that's going on right now and expect people to not bring it up. Like, you're on Twitch. This is a massive platform with lots of people who speak loads of different languages and live in loads of different places. And the invasion of Ukraine is one of the biggest global political things going on right now. I just think those are interesting expectations to have. It'd be like me expecting, I don't know, like when the 2024 election cycle is kind of going on again, like once it properly starts up and there's like actual debates and stuff, it'd be like me expecting people not to come in and talk about it. Because like that'll be everywhere. Like everyone will know about it. It will be on your TV against your will when it starts happening. Because why not, I guess. A year and a half to their 3-day special military mission. Yep. Just a short little mission. Won't take too long. It's kind of sad. Not sad, that's not the right word, but it's kind of like rough that even before everyone started funneling money into Ukraine, Russia wasn't doing a great job taking over Ukraine. That's kind of funny. Because Russia claims to be the superpower, but then they can't even take on Ukraine. Granted, we started funneling money into it like crazy after a while, but not initially. Yeah, when the show got interrupted by debates, yeah. I do remember that. I remember it very well. It still pisses me off to this day. Fucking George Stephanopoulos and his stupid fucking... his stupid fucking interruptions. Talking about Trump and Biden and... Well, that was 2016 actually, so Trump and Hillary. Right? They're struggling to fight Ukrainians who didn't even have like proper weapons grade, like high grade, like shit, you know? It'd be like it's like Israel invading Palestine but not being able to make any progress. Like right at the very beginning of the war, it was kind of like that, but on a grander scale. And then we started funneling money into them, and now Ukraine has a pretty decent military defense anyways, because we've given them so many fucking weapons, along with the rest of NATO and the world's powers. Being like, Russia, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Yes, we're talking about Russia now because of the Russian streamer that Ricky came across. See, that's another thing that I think we need to do a better job, and by we, I just mean everybody, need to do a better job when we talk about things, like, because we say like Russia. When I say Russia, I'm not talking about Russians. I'm talking about the people who run Russia, the people who govern it, the people who are in charge, the people who make the decisions. But I don't say Putin every time because it's not always him. Sometimes it's his subordinates. Sometimes it's his army general. Sometimes it's his, the guy that he just allegedly, maybe, possibly, potentially, maybe blew up in an airplane recently, for committing a coup on him. That guy with all of his war crimes. That's who I'm talking about when I talk about Russia. When I talk about Israel, I'm doing the same thing. I'm talking about the people who run Israel and the people who, the military in Israel. And I'm not talking about Israelis. I'm not talking about Jews. I'm talking about the government of Israel. When I talk about how I'm not a fan of the way that they treat the world around them. The same thing. When I talk about America, I'm usually not talking about the individuals, although sometimes I am, because I live here and I have interaction with the individuals here, so I can actually speak on the individuals here, and how fucking annoying a lot of them are. But generally, when I talk about America, I'm talking about the government, not the individual person. And I feel like people need to do a better job of understanding that that's usually what people are talking about. They're not talking about the individuals who live in a place. They're talking about the people who actually run the place, because, although I will sit here and shit talk the country that I live in all day, every day, and I do that a lot, because there's a lot to talk about. You do. That was your choice. You made that decision. Kind of. Yeah. You're also just one person. When I talk about the government, I'm not talking about the individuals in government usually. I'm talking about the government as an entity. Yeah, but there's also a difference between, like, the military and the government. Like, those are not the same thing. Yeah, plus Jarek has no say on what they want him to do, so he's not the one making the calls, so he just goes where he's told. So, alright, should we actually read some Reddit now? When I first opened Reddit, there was a conclusion to a Best of Redditor Updates post. It's quite long. Like, quite long. But it looks like an interesting story. What is it with some guys and only following female streamers, and on every occasion never raids make streamer when they ask for recommendation raids? See, that's something I find funny before we jump into this post, this very, very, very long post, is that men will complain about, like, titty streamers, for lack of a better term, but then you'll never guess who does most of the watching of titty streamers. The same guys, usually. I always find that amusing. I'm not talking about you, Rookie. I'm just talking about really in general. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Because you said, why are so many guys only following female streamers? And I just find it funny that that group of people who watch, like, exclusively female streamers will complain that, oh, it's so much easier. Girls can just get their tits out and then men will give them money. And I'm like, aren't you subscribed to like 3 different Twitch streams that are all women? Don't you subscribe to their OnlyFans also? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, if I wanted to see titties, I wouldn't be on Twitch. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. There are much easier places to go see titties. Twitch is not the place. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why. That's where people go for it, but what do I know? Alright. This is a long fucking post, alright? Just for the record, just so you know. This is a very long post. It is a very long post. Twitch is only shorter to type if you don't have autofill. If you have autofill on, I can tell you which one's probably going to come up faster. For a lot of guys, anyways. Sorry, the construction. Maybe. Probably. I mean, there's a lot of streamers who, like, when the, like, sexy, big air quotes on sexy, ASMR stuff was like popping off, like the ear licking and all that nasty shit, and it was mostly like titty streamers who were doing it. There was like an air of that kind of control, because if you spent enough money, they would switch to whatever specific trigger you were asking for, right? If you paid enough, they'd switch to that, or if they got donated enough money, they'd switch to the next one. They'd switch to whatever was next lined up, you know, things like that. So I would assume that that's definitely a thing. Without a doubt, that's definitely a thing. So. Okay, so we're going to start with this one, and then it's quite long, and then we'll move into Am I the Asshole, assuming that this doesn't take an hour and a half to read through, which I don't think it will. But I also don't know how much I will stop and talk. So, this was originally posted onto r/TrueOffMyChest, where people go to post confessions anonymously. Generally anonymously. They'll usually make a throwaway Reddit account in order to post it to that area. It was then updated a number of times and eventually posted to Best of Redditor updates. So this could be an interesting ride. I have not read it yet. I've only read like very, very small portions of it, so I'm not 100% sure what the story is about, but we're surely going to find out together if the construction will ever take 2 seconds to like not be super fucking loud. This is another reason I stream later in the day. because there's usually less of that later in the day once it gets hot as fuck outside. Yeah, I don't know, Jarek. I don't know. You can you can go places for free and see exactly what you want, and other places for free. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I mean, if anyone wasn't going to understand it, it was going to be me. But still, you know, it is what it is. I wonder if I put on headphones, if that'll make it harder to hear the construction, making me get less distracted. But I don't know. I like not having to wear headphones, so it's nice. I like not having to have headphones on. It's so wild when you cut your hair, and then it's like you go back and you go, especially when you have long hair, and you go to do one of these, and then it just stops way sooner than you're used to, and it takes a while, especially when you're like showering. I notice it more when I'm like washing my hair and my hair's wet. I don't know why. I guess because when you're wringing it out and stuff, you notice it a bit faster, I guess. But that takes a little while for that to go away, where you get used to it. It takes a minute. So, alrighty, let's read this. The title is, I ignored my husband so much that he went away without telling me, which is a very vague title, but the best ones always have a vague title. I, Carla, 30, am 6 months pregnant with mine and my husband's, Harry, 31, first child. During this pregnancy, I've been very exhausted every day and would usually come home from work and go to bed an hour later. Then I'd wake up at midnight and reheat what Harry had made us for dinner. For context, I've been part of a huge work project that's been going on for months, and I've been extremely overworked. On top of this, my husband doesn't have a job at this moment and isn't looking for one unless I remind him. I've been working overtime to get as much money as I can before maternity leave. Jeez, he's not working and you're 6 months pregnant? What exactly does he expect y'all to do once you've given birth and are taking time off? Interesting. I spent time without a job, not looking for a job, but I didn't have a pregnant wife. So, all right, our anniversary was on the 6th of August, and I'd asked him if we could have a romantic dinner at home and then snuggle up to watch TV under a warm blanket. I thought it was a wonderful idea since I was too tired to go out, and because I knew Harry was doing most, if not all, of the household chores. However, he seemed a little annoyed when he agreed, but I thought nothing of it. Construction. All right. The next morning, Harry seemed quite cold towards me and barely looked me in the eyes. Once I got home from work, he wasn't there. But that was normal since he could have been out with friends or at an interview, so I went to sleep. I woke up at 11 that night to see that I was still alone in the house, so I checked my phone. I had about 8 missed calls from Harry and a long text. I'm summarizing with the text read, I understand how tired you are because of this pregnancy. If this is going to be about them not having enough sex, I'm going to be upset. I'm just saying this now before I read ahead. If this is about him not getting enough sex because she's pregnant and tired, I'm going to be upset, all right? And the construction's not helping, for the record. All right. I understand how tired you are because of this pregnancy, and you have to work extra hours most days, but I'm over being ignored every day and having 5-minute conversation with you every so often. You expect me to do all the housework and plan our boring anniversary alone. I'm really annoyed, so I'm saying it to friends tonight. Text me when you see this. Of course, I called him and texted him about being sorry and wanting to talk, but I never got an answer. In the morning, I called my boss about having a day off and spent most of it waiting for Harry and planning my apology. However, when he came home, he silently handed me a rose and a card saying that he loves me, but needs a few days away from me to figure out what he's going to do or say. Yikes. Then those days became a week. This part happened on the 13th, 8 days later. Also, he doesn't sound very understanding. I can understand, Oh, we hit the end of the playlist. Hold on. There we go. I can understand, feeling like your partner and you never getting any time together anymore. But he's not even working. I understand she comes home and goes to bed because she's 6 months fucking pregnant and exhausted after work. I get that. But also, she gave you an idea for you all to hang out for your anniversary, where you all would spend time together and snuggle and hang out and watch a movie. How is that not her making an effort to spend time with you when she had time? Like, and plan it on your own? What do you mean plan it on your own? She planned it. The plan was, let's watch a movie and hang out on the couch and snuggle. All you had to do was pick the movie and order some food. That's it. She already picked the thing. What do you mean plan on your own? What do you mean? Right? I asked him if we could have a romantic dinner at home and then snuggle up to watch TV under a warm blanket. I thought it was a wonderful idea. So she planned it. 6th of August, we have a romantic dinner and snuggle up and watch TV under a warm blanket. The only thing he has to do is decide what they're going to watch and cook food or order food. How is that planning it by himself? Yeah, I'm going to start waving red flags, but this is a long post, so there could be red flags on all the sides here. We will find out. Okay. Those days became a week. This part happened on the 13th, 8 days later. I messaged him every day, and he would constantly say that he needed one more day or just another night at his friend's to figure this all out. But on the 13th, I decided to go to the friend's home he was staying at to confront him. I'm going to assume that the husband has been cheating on her while she's been pregnant, because if she's too pregnant and busy to spend time with him, that means they're also not having sex. And he's also spending a lot of time at this friend's house. So, we'll find out. So I drove over, nearly 30 minutes away, and banged on the door so hard that I could hear it echo from inside. By this point, I'd realized that I should have put more effort into our relationship, but he also should have talked to me about this instead of running away. Absolutely. Harry's friend came to the door and was confused but pleased to see me. He seemed a little on edge as I talked to him, and he had to break the silence every so often with comments about my pregnancy and how he couldn't wait to meet the baby. Sus. Finally, we stopped talking, and I practically demanded to see Harry, saying that I want to apologize, but also explain how childish he was being by hiding from me. The thing that I found absolutely hilarious, but actually not at all, was that his friend said that Harry wasn't there, but had left for Ireland on the 9th. Ireland. To say I was absolutely beyond furious and extremely confused would be such an understatement. His friend invited me in and sat me down to talk. Turns out that Harry had told his friends of our problems and had come up with the solution of going on a holiday as a couple to sort everything out and, quote, learn to love each other again, in Harry's words. Is Harry's friend named Ron, right? So, of course, his friend thought that was a lovely idea and helped him book the flight on the evening of the 5th, the first time he had stayed at his friend's house. Since it was last minute booking, Harry's friend had stayed up with him for quite a while before they found a flight who was taking more passengers due to canceled tickets. Uh-oh. His friend then explained how he'd been confused when I arrived at the door, but didn't want to say anything about the holiday in case it had ended early due to us arguing. Harry's return ticket is booked for the 20th of August. I am just so angry and quite heartbroken, to be completely honest. I messaged him the moment his friend had finished talking, and Harry only responded an hour ago with nothing more than I had to figure things out. Sorry. So now I'm home alone again and trying to figure out what I'm going to do or say when he gets home. Anyway, thanks for reading about how my life is going. Side note, I'm from the UK, so Ireland isn't as far as people think it is since I'm not American, but it is still so far. Yeah, it's still another country. Another side note, a question that kept repeating is, where did he get the money from without you noticing? So I'll leave my explanation from the comments here. He has a bank account with his money from when he worked as a teenager and a little into his 20s before we met, and a few years ago. We agreed not to touch that money and add to it every so often. It was a backup savings account, so I'm assuming that he took the money from there since it wasn't just from the joint account. Do we think there's going to be cheating involved? Because I think there's going to be cheating involved, personally. If there's not cheating involved, I'll be surprised. I gotta be honest. There's a lot of flags waving around. A variety of colors, but specifically red flags. But I don't know what color the sus flags would be. Would the sus flags be purple? I feel like sus flags would be purple, right? Lots of sus flags as well. There's some... Obviously, there's sussy shit going on. He up and went to a different country without telling her. So... also, the fact that they were looking for... they said... His friend explained, since it was last minute, Harry's friend stayed up with him for quite a while before they found a flight who was taking a few more passengers due to canceled tickets. So they weren't buying one ticket. They were buying 2 tickets. 2 tickets. 2. That's sus. Alright, let's read this update. Alright. I've had time to think a little. Here's another note. 6 hours later. I knew this post would get attention, but I assumed it would only be a little. I've never used Reddit before, but I've seen it on TikTok a few times, so I thought posts only became popular on there. And maybe this one would get as popular as my Am I the Asshole post. Not very. I was upset when I posted this and didn't think about how I would handle all the judgment and conspiracies once I calmed down. I appreciate the hard truths, empathy, and or advice given to me, but I'm not divorcing him, changing the locks, calling a lawyer, or anything like that. We have green, white, orange, red, white, and blue. Yes. Small update. August 17th, 2023. 2 days later, same post. It's the 17th now. I've had a longer think. I'm not deciding anything until our talk, but I definitely won't be staying in my home with him after this. I can't trust him not to run away again. I'll talk more about this on my actual update, but I've gained some self-respect and realized that he's being an asshole. I talked to my mom, and she's happy for me to move in with her on the 21st, and I'm free to stay for as long as I need to. So I'm going to post an update just to clear the air when I can. Hopefully the day or day after Harry is home, 20th or 21st, and then delete this all a day or two later, or I'll forget to. Alright. The kill them flag. Relevant comments. How many tickets did he buy? 2 tickets as far as his friend knows, and I don't know who he took with him, but I'd like to assume it's a different friend or relative, and that it just wasn't used. Are you delusional? I'm not. Just because I hope he's not with another woman doesn't mean that I believe that. Also, I think I know who's with him, but I'm not going to say anything until I know. If I'm right, though, he's definitely not cheating, yet anything is possible now. His feelings are valid, but his response is extreme. Thank you, this is actually quite helpful. I know I'm not the good guy in all this, and that I should have made time for him or recognized that we needed to talk. I just wish that he would have told me to have a day off, since I clearly didn't notice how he was feeling, or got a job so that I wouldn't be working so much so we could be together more. Exactly. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. My eyes hurt. I need them to not. My eyes hurt. My eyes don't like the fact that they're open, but when I close them, I don't start to fall asleep, so it's like not helpful. Like it's the kind of thing that like closing your eyes makes it feel a little bit better, but I'm also not like sleepy, so closing my eyes just feels weird. I don't know. Okay. I agree with this fully. His feelings are valid. Like, you're allowed to feel lonely. Like, you're allowed to feel like you're being kind of neglected by your partner. That happens. But to up and leave to a different country is a bit much. It's a bit much. Okay? Alright. Update. 6 days later. I want to start this out by saying that a lot of questions have been answered since Harry came home yesterday evening. The main one being that he did use the second ticket, but for his sister. For the last few days, Harry's friend had been living with me and helping me through this. One way was that he scheduled a couples and individuals counselor for Harry and I. I have also been calling my mom every day since the 13th, and with the one counseling session, Harry's friend and my mom all giving me the same advice. I scheduled an early maternity leave with a slight bonus to each paycheck because of all my overtime and unpaid help. I officially leave work in 4 days. Nice. Paycheck? God, I hate the way y'all spell paycheck. It is so incorrect and gross. Okay, back to yesterday. Harry's friend went to pick Harry up and sent me photos of who he was with as a reassurance it was his sister. Tiff, not her real name. When they arrived, I'd prepared dinner and cleaned the downstairs of our home so that we could have a civilized conversation without hunger or distractions to stop us. At least we get one. That's fair. But you also pay more. So not really, but we get paid the same amount of bullshit, okay? You don't make that much more money than me, all right? For the record, I remember when I worked 2 days a week. Nice. I worked 3 days a week when I let myself. I really need to go back to working more than that. It'll be up to 4 soon because we have MET starting next week. So, which is why I didn't pick anything up this week either. Oh, maternity leave? Oh yeah. You get paid maternity leave. We don't get that here. This is America. We don't get that. You must have the baby and then you must take care of the baby while working. You don't get to not have the baby at all, or have the baby and then spend time with the baby. We don't get to do that. When they arrived, I'd prepared dinner and cleaned the downstairs of our home. Yeah. Okay. Harry looked extremely tired, and he seemed to be on the verge of crying the moment I opened the door to them all. 6 days a week right now. Gross. I was incredibly patient for the sole reason of being able to get through this discussion in one piece. And so when Harry wouldn't speak, I let Tiff explain why she had gone with him. Tiff is a lovely lady who helped me through the few months before my pregnancy. However, Harry didn't stay in close contact with her, and I lost touch when the work project started. Because of this, she had no clue about anything going on until Harry called her and said that he had a spare ticket to Ireland. At first, she was reluctant since she knew that I was pregnant, and so she tried to ask why he would leave, and if I was with someone who could care for me. Eventually, Harry snapped and told her the real reason of why he was going away, and so she joined him to make sure that he knew it was wrong, but also to help him through all the emotions that he was feeling. Alright. Interesting. We got some weird shit going on. Alright. She was the reason that Harry came back to me. If she hadn't gone with him, then Harry admitted that he might have moved to central London or a small village in the countryside to hide from this. Sir, you have a baby on the way. You're not allowed to behave like this. Okay, you're also 30 years old. Right? 31 years old. 31 years old. Interesting. I'm just gonna hold this. Harry admitted that he might have moved to central London so he could run away. It took everything in me not to cry when she admitted that. I could clearly see the shame on Harry's face. I'm not going to recite everything word for word, so I'll clear up some quick things. 1. Harry did use the backup savings account, like I thought, to pay for the tickets. The reason Harry had 2. The reason that Harry's friend didn't see who the other ticket was for was because once they had found the tickets, Harry's friend went to bed. What's wrong with 31-year-old peeps is that they're not allowed to fucking behave like this. This is a childish way to behave. You're too old to be behaving like a fucking baby running away from your problems. You're 31 years old. You need to man the fuck up. You've got a fucking kid along the way. You need to learn how to speak and use your words and not run away from your problems. That's why I brought up his age, because that is not acceptable behavior for someone with a fully formed frontal lobe. That is not acceptable behavior. All right? You're not 21, okay? That's a very 21 thing to do. I'm in my runaway phase, all right? Why else would I move 700 miles away from everyone that I know, other than the fact that it's very cheap to live here? I mean, I moved for a fresh start. I'm not running from anything. I moved for a fresh start, but that's besides the point. If I had moved to run away from my problems, it would be more acceptable because I am still developing my brain, all right? Yeah, that's not healthy either, but that's not just a 31 problem. Like, you didn't literally get up and run away from your problems. You just you threw them into a bottle. That's what you did. Still not okay, but it's more appropriate for someone in their 30s to do that than it is for someone in their 30s to literally run away from their problems. Especially when you have a baby on the way. Your wife is 6 months pregnant and you just up and leave for reasons. Unacceptable behavior. Alright, Tiff was by Harry's side the entire holiday in Ireland and confirmed without a doubt that it wasn't defined a fling. I spent most of the day in the cheapest hotel room possible in silence before Harry started talking about everything. When we met and married, Harry was a loving, hardworking, job-having man whose only dream was to have a wonderful family and then retire to one of those cute stone villages in the south of England. Interesting. I get told to move every couple or so years, unfortunately. Yeah. After an hour, Harry finally spoke. Tiff and Harry's friend went into the living room, but I never realized how strange it would feel to be with Harry again. He confessed that he'd stopped loving me a month into my pregnancy. It wasn't to do with the fact that I was sick at the time, dirty as a mole, or wouldn't stop talking about the baby. He just didn't have a reason. Yikes. Since he couldn't think of why he stopped loving me, he assumed that the love would come back in no time. That maybe it was some delusion caused by the stress of a baby on the way. Over time, that love didn't come back, and he started feeling incredibly guilty and alone in it all, which is when he got fired from his job. He told me it was because his work performance was belittled by new management, but it was really because he was too trapped in his feelings to think of anything, but how much he still didn't love me. Okay, then fucking tell her. What's wrong with people? I don't like people who recognize that they're not, like, especially at such a pivotal part of your life where you've got a pregnant partner, to be like, I don't love this person anymore, and then just keep that to themselves. It's very childish, and I don't understand why grown adults do this. Like 31-year-olds do this. It was weird. That's just weird. Don't do that. If your feelings start being weird, go to a therapist and talk to your therapist about it. If you're not going to go directly to the person that you're falling out of love with, go to a fucking therapist. Or just talk to your partner. Like, why are you wasting everybody's time? Okay. Then he never tried to get a job because sitting at home without me, since I had to work more, was much better than sitting at work and possibly getting fired again. He came to love how he had alone time until the moment that he felt alone. That was when he refused to work just so he wouldn't have to see me. He wanted to sit and wait and see how long it would be before I came to him. The trip was to test the waters. It was to see if life would be better without me. He still hasn't decided. But he's allegedly been living his life without you, right? Like, that's the whole fucking reason he said he left, was that he didn't feel like he was getting to spend any time with you because you were always at work because he wouldn't get a fucking job. So which one is it? In his whole explanation, he kept emphasizing how he didn't love me and said it was like a child who needed to hear something 1,000 times just to understand it. He never apologized. In a rough way, I was shocked, distraught. If you have a word to describe that awful emotion, then I felt it. I cried, I shouted, I cried again, and we sat in silence until I couldn't talk. Or until I could talk. Then I told him how I could never trust him again. How could I possibly trust him not to walk out on me or the baby? How could I trust him to tell me things or explain to me his emotions or to see the story from both sides? How could I possibly work myself dry again for an unloving husband? And so I made the decision for him. We would go to couples counseling, not to be a better couple, but just to understand each other and learn to communicate properly while together and to people, and to other people. No matter what, our lives would always involve each other because of the marriage and baby, and so we needed to be able to talk. I've moved into my mom's house, and I'm free to stay for as long as I need to. My mom is helping me to make the spare room into a nursery and is being the most amazing and supportive, incredible mom anyone could ask for. That's good. It's good that she has a support system. Tiff and I are going to stay in closer contact, and Harry's ex-friend said that he can be the appointment driver and is going to be my second emergency contact as for when I'm in labor. My mom will be with me, and Tiff and Harry's ex-friend will be waiting to meet the baby and to stop Harry from even seeing the delivery room. Ooh, you got his sister and his best friend. We love that. Finally, I made it clear to Harry that we will separate for now, but we'll divorce/remain separated after the baby is born. I will make sure that he is not mentioned on my emergency contacts. He can't be trusted to show up or even he where he says he is. I am not going to update this anymore since I have things to do and a baby to prepare for. Thank you for sticking around and reading this. I'll respond to whatever comments I see/want to, but those are all I'll say after this. Some more details. Hi there, I just saw this. I didn't include a lot of nitty details in this because it's my last post on the matter, but I just wanted to clear the air. However, Harry had told Tiff that I allowed him to go so he could think, so she didn't try to reach out. I suppose she wanted to give Harry and I space, or maybe she just forgot because her brother was upset and in a crisis of sorts. There are a lot of things to still talk about that we only talked about for an evening. Also, Harry's friend is on my emergency contacts because he has been helping me through this. And if my mom can't get to me, he is the closest after her. Emergency contacts are about trust, but also location. How did ex-friend become ex-friend? In short, Harry lied to his friend, and then his friend learned what Harry had told me. The friend doesn't want to be Harry's friend anymore. Yep. You may want to contact the lawyer about him not being in contact at the baby's school. I responded to someone else about this in a rough way. I'm tired, and I realize that won't happen. I just want to know that Harry wouldn't take the baby from the nursery without me knowing, and then decide that he'd have a better life without us. What I mean is, until he decides if he wants to be in our lives and gets any mental health support that he needs because of how he's been feeling or acting, then I want to know where our baby is at all times. Marked as concluded since OOP indicated she won't be updating it anymore. There wasn't cheating involved. I was wrong. Just a lot of other bullshit. Huh? We did get a divorce. You're correct. We did, in fact, receive...
Divorce?
We got a divorce. Yeah, that was a pretty chill Best of Redditor updates from Reddit. Though we didn't see the twist coming. We didn't see the... We thought he was going to be cheating on her. We didn't see the falling out of love aspect coming. So we have that. Not me yawning. Where was this 6 hours ago? Where were these yawns 6 hours ago? Best of Redditor updates is a very interesting place to go because of how juicy a lot of the stories can get. What is the all-time #1 Best of Redditor updates? Wow. 87.8K. How long is this one? This one's not very long. Interesting. Oh yeah, this one's juicy. Did we read this one on here? I think we read this one on here, didn't we? The paternity test that came back negative. No. Did we? I don't fucking know. I can't remember if we read it or if I watched a YouTube video where they covered it. But it's a wild one. I think I watched a video about it. Let's see how long these ones are. All right. Let's see how long these are. Short, medium, short. All right, we can read these three before we jump into the Am of the Assholes. Okay. All right. I, 28 male, want to adopt my sister after my dad's death. My wife, 28 female, refused because we agreed on no children. Is there a way to fix this? Probably not. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. These yawns came out of nowhere. All right. I, 28 male, have been married to my wife, 28 female, for 2 years. We do not have kids and do not plan to. I have a little sister, 11 female. Due to the age gap, I am more like another father than a brother. My father passed away from pancreatic cancer, and there are 2 options for my sister. Either I take her in, or my uncle, dad's brother. So we asked her who she wanted, and she chose me. Here is the problem. My wife and I decided that we did not want kids. So she does not want to adopt my sister, especially since my uncle can. But my sister has no parents now, and I want to make sure she is able to recover and be healthy, and since she wants to be with me, I will not force her to be with her uncle. This is causing a lot of tension with my wife. Things escalated, and I finally told her that I'm doing this whether she agrees or not. She can either accept it, or we can get
divorced.
We have not talked since then. What can I do in this situation? Get a new wife. Jimmy, you answered the question, or Jarek, you answered the question perfectly. I mean, Jimmy's old message of divorce is also accurate. So technically both are right, even though the divorce was about the other post. But yeah, you can divorce your wife. It's only 2 years. You got, like, I think, I don't know. I feel like I'd have to ask Max, because Max is someone who doesn't want kids. What Max would do in this situation. If they were the wife in this situation, for example, if their partner wanted to adopt a younger sibling in this kind of situation, because I don't really have a perspective on it, because I would not mind having kids, so I wouldn't care. Like, let's say I found a wife who didn't want kids, and then suddenly her dad dies, and then her significantly younger sibling needs a place to go, and she wants to adopt the kid, I wouldn't have any issue with it personally, even if we had decided we didn't want kids. But that's because I also wouldn't mind having some, or one, especially if it's my partner's younger sibling. That's a very different situation than, like, let's adopt a random child. This is someone he's already related to. So I think Max would do it because Max is very forgiving. See, if I lived with Max, I would just summon Max and have Max read it and then give us their opinion, but Max is working. When was this? Oh. Sorry, I had a weird notification. Well, Max didn't reply immediately. Max replied to something I sent several hours ago, just now. So I sent Max this portion of the post to get their opinion. We'll see when they get back to us. I cannot believe that Lego just decided to send me another set in full. Like, I'm so... like, I can't describe how grateful I am. That must not be a very common thing that they deal with, where people are like, I lost my set, when they didn't actually lose their set. Of course, I did actually lose my set. Mine was actually stolen, but I very easily could have brought it in myself and then claimed it was stolen just to get another one of the same one or a refund for it. And so to have essentially gotten it for free. So I'm going to assume that that hasn't been like abused to a degree that Lego cares. Because usually that's what makes them not do that, is they've lost a lot of money and stuff. Because these sets are very expensive. At least for the consumer to purchase, it's very expensive. So I'm so grateful that they just replaced it with no real hassle. They didn't make me prove that I didn't have it. They didn't make me do any of that. So I just received the tracking information for it, or like your like order is ready or whatever. They even offered to let me change the delivery location, because I changed it to the mailroom this time instead of it being my actual address, because the UPS and USPS and the FedEx all know, or at least they're all supposed to know, to take packages to the mailroom if they go to one of the apartments owned by this company that's right around here, which is why I left it there. Why I said, oh, just send it to my address, because last time they did take it there correctly. Okay, Max sent a voice message.
I really think for the Reddit post, like, I would personally definitely take my sibling in. I think that is the right choice, but I also don't think it's acceptable for the husband to give the wife that ultimatum, like, I'm gonna do it whether you want it or not. Like, you're a team. When you get married, you accept that you are each other's ride or die, and you have to take each other into account in giant decisions like that. I think that he's making the right choice, but I also don't think it's appropriate for him to make a choice directly against his wife's wishes. So I think it's really complicated, and they should probably do counseling or talk much more deeply about it, because maybe she's just not... I don't know, maybe she's an only child. I feel like we need more context here. So yeah, I guess it's kind of complicated. He's not necessarily the asshole. Everyone doesn't necessarily suck here. Moral dilemma.
Well, it's a best of Redditor updates post, so I'm sure there's more info coming. Yeah. They decided to divorce. I talked with my wife again. She still refused, as she does not want kids, so we basically decided to go our separate ways. She said, you really are choosing your sister over me. I told her I do not want to go into this discussion again, but if that is what you want to hear, then fine. Yes, my sister takes the priority. Now I am choosing her over you. This was our last conversation. I have been living with my sister for a week now. Being a single father-ish brother is definitely challenging, but I'm really enjoying it. TLDR, I got separated from my wife and am taking care of my sister. Things gotta happen how things gotta happen. If she couldn't make the exception in this situation because she really just didn't want kids, then, I mean, that's absolutely, she's allowed to do that, but you set that ultimatum and she made her decision. So, yeah, good for him. I'm glad, because he's putting his sister first, which I think is the best way to do it, because his sister's a child. Like, she's 11 years old. And her dad just died, you know? And as someone who hasn't lost a parent, especially not at a young age, I don't know firsthand how hard that must be, but I can certainly imagine how hard that must be. Not sure when the mom died or left or whatever, but seeing as she's not in the picture, you know, clearly. Max said, oh shit, I mean, probably for the best if they're at such a big impasse, but sucks if they were perfect for each other in every other way. They didn't go into huge detail in the post about any extra details. That's really all there is. But at the end of the day, kids or no kids is a by itself deal breaker. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. Indeed, indeed, indeed. See, I think if you want kids and your partner doesn't want kids, you're not going to work. It's not going to happen. If you don't want kids but your partner does, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. If you both want kids, perfect. If neither of you want kids, perfect. But that is not one of those things that you can disagree on. That's not one of those things where, like, and you don't even both have to enthusiastically want kids or not want kids. It can be a situation like me where I don't mind either way. If I could go my whole life child-free and still feel fulfilled, or I could go my whole life, like, spend the next, I don't know, 5 to 10 years alone and then meet a fantastic woman who has 2 or 3 kids already, fall in love with her, fall in love with her kids, and then suddenly I've got 3 kids and I'd be just as fulfilled in my life. I don't need one or the other. I'm fine either way. So it doesn't need to be an enthusiastic, yes, kids, give me all the kids, you know. Obviously, I have my boundaries as well. I don't want 6 kids, you know what I mean? That's too many. If we're going to have kids, it's not going to be 6. It's going to be maximum of 3, you know? So, but this feels like a situation where the wife is very much a strict, no kids, no exceptions type person. And he found out he had an exception for his no kids thing. So it doesn't work anymore. In this case, I think husband has agreed that won't have kids and have made his peace with it, but this is his sister, so it should be an exception to the agreement. I also saw it that way when I read it the first time. Like, that's also how I see it. I see this as less of a, oh, we have a kid now, and more of a, we're just taking care of your sister for an extended period of time. You know? Like, if she didn't want to adopt the sister, that's fine. He's welcome to go through the process of legally adopting her, but that doesn't mean the wife has to. You know what I mean? It's not like they're it's not like the sister is, you know, 3, you know what I mean? I feel like that would make a little more sense. She's 11. She's already at the point where she can kind of take care of herself. Like, you can leave her home alone while you run to the store, and it's not really, she's more than likely not going to find a way to get herself dead. You know what I mean? Like, she's 11, you know what I mean? And if she's been raised well, she should be fairly independent by that point. You've only got a few years before she's old enough to go off to college and stuff like that. So it's either adopt her or let her go into the system as an orphan. No, the other option was the uncle was going to adopt her. Those were the options. No, if the only other option was going into the system, then the wife would have been the asshole. The wife would be an asshole if the options were the brother or no one, but the options were the brother or the uncle. And the sister wanted to go stay with her brother and not with her uncle. So, you know, I don't think the wife is an asshole here. I just think this was just a couple that wasn't meant to be forever. So, I would say that her being like, you're really choosing your sister over me, I would say that was toxic if he didn't literally make that the ultimatum out loud, saying, either you can accept it or you can leave. Like, he made that ultimatum. So if he hadn't said that ultimatum and then she'd said that, I would have said that was a little fucked. But because he said it and then she returned it, it's not as toxic, I don't think. I think one of the things I like about Best of Redditor updates is they get pulled from a lot of different subreddits, so you can get a decent variety. So this one is longer, but still not as long as the first one. Okay. OOP's 9-year-old sister was sent to boarding school but never came back. OP suspects foul play and thinks parents and grandma are involved. The wife set her boundaries, but her making it seem like it's unfair for husband to take his sister's side. Yeah. Like, I can understand that from her perspective. It feels very... I'm sure she feels a bit blindsided by it, but at the end of the day, you know, I feel like at the end of the day, you can't really be mad that he chose his sister. Because, like, it makes sense. You know? Yeah, but he died of cancer. He died of pancreatic cancer. So it's possible that he'd been sick for a while. So it's possible the death wasn't a blindside. He didn't state that it was a sudden death. He didn't say what kind, like if it was, he'd been fighting it for a while. But, you know. Yeah, exactly. I said to Max that at the end of the day, kids or no kids by itself is a deal breaker for a relationship. And Max said, absolutely, it's up there with religion to me. Yeah, that's also another deal breaker in my opinion, is if one of you's Christian and one of you's Muslim, that's probably not going to work out. It might, but it's very rare. If one of you is atheist and one of you is a hardcore Christian, good fucking luck with that. Because the same way that, like, kids or no kids is that is going to massively affect the way your life proceeds. Like, if you get pregnant at 19, your life is going to be completely different now than it had been if you hadn't gotten pregnant at 19. Kids are a life-changing thing. So that's why it is such a massive deal breaker if you all don't agree on wanting kids or not wanting kids. And religion also very much shapes the way you see the world and the way you live your life, generally speaking, of course. So if you have two different religions or two different ways of doing that religion, like if one of you is like a Methodist and one of you is a Catholic, like, it's not gonna work out more likely than not, because different religions and different sects of different religions see the world so much differently and have so much different morals and stuff that are based in their religion. Now, of course, people have different morals anyways. There are obviously other things that are very much deal breakers if you don't agree with each other on that thing. But religion and kids are the two that really come to mind. Like it's one of those things that you kind of have to talk about early into your relationship, I think the kids question on like a third date is a good time to do that, because if you disagree with it, if you're like, oh no, I don't want kids at all, I have never wanted kids, I don't want kids, I absolutely don't want kids, and they're like, oh, I really want kids, then it's time to end it. There's no need to continue the relationship romantically. You can be friends, but there's no need to continue it as a romance, because it won't ever work. At least that's how I see it. I think kids should be brought up fairly early in the dating process. Even on the first date, if you can bring it up in a way that's not like, I want your babies, you know what I mean? If you can bring it up in a way that's not weird, if you can casually slip it into conversation of like, oh yeah, I've always wanted a few kids, or no, I've never really wanted kids all that much. I feel like it's important to get that out early, just to save people time. Fuck cancer, first of all, absolutely, always, fuck cancer. But when we found out about my mom's cancer, it was too late. She was given a month to 3 months. She passed a few days shy of 3 months, the morning of my sister's wedding. Oh, that sucks. Tell Max I said hello. We'll do. Yeah. That's what I mean, because we don't know how long they'd known about the dad's cancer, because it could have been a situation like your mother's, or it could have been one where he's been fighting it for a very long time. And it's been a long road to the end. It could have been a multi-year battle. It could have been a week battle for all we know. I think pancreatic cancer is one of those ones that is hard to find early. Question mark? Don't quote me on that. I'm not certain. I'm not a doctor. Yeah. Getting a cut on your finger, like on the actual bendy part of your finger, is so fucking annoying. Because it takes so long to heal, because it heals while you're in the neutral position of your hand, just like chilling, right? But then the moment you use your hand, it like pops it open again because it stretches the skin. It's really annoying. Even though it's not like the husband just decided out of nowhere to have kids, he decided to take responsibility for his sister. Yeah, he didn't like show up one day and was like, let's make a baby. You know what I mean? It wasn't like or let's adopt this 2-year-old. You know what I mean? It was a, hey, my dad just died. My 11-year-old sister needs a place to go. I want to take her in. Those are very, 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 very different situations in my mind. So, you know. Alrighty. Next post. I'm going to reread the title. OP's 9-year-old sister was sent to boarding school but never came back. OP suspects foul play and thinks the parents and grandma are involved. And what if the uncle option was a creep? Exactly. This was originally posted on Legal Advice. What are the trigger warnings? Human trafficking and child abuse. Horrifying, but the ending is hopeful. Alright, this could be interesting. Throw away because this is seriously terrifying. I scope Reddit a lot, and I really don't know where to go, but I hope I can be helped here. I'm a 14-year-old male. I'm American, but live in Asia. Being vague because I don't want this traced back to me if the situation is as bad as it seems. I don't know if I should give some sort of background or anything, but up until about 7 months ago, I lived with my mom, 39, and my dad, 41, plus my little sister, 9. I say was because my sister is no longer here. She is in, quote, boarding school. I want to preface this by saying we are not bad kids. We are half white, half Asian. When my grandpa on my dad's side got sick 4 years ago, we moved here so my dad could take care of him. Me and my sister worked hard to learn the language. Despite her age, she actually caught on better than me, and I was so impressed with her. Well, yeah, when you're younger, it's easier to learn languages generally. So the issue began with grandma. She would really look down on my sister, and I love my sister and didn't like it one bit. My mom said it's cultural and I shouldn't make a fuss, but it was hard not to when grandma really started making it obvious. She got me clothes and games, etc., but my sis got no attention. I should mention that 4 years ago, we lived with grandpa and grandma. In that time of me getting spoiled, my sister got reprimanded for everything she did. I swear it was super unfair, you wouldn't believe. Just under a year ago, grandpa passed away, and my parents decided we'd stay here since I already spoke and read pretty fluently. Grandma spoke to everyone about how rude and unladylike my sister is, and my parents went along with it when I completely think that is not okay. 7 months ago, her and grandma went out, and my parents said that she'd be at boarding school for the summer. Just the summer. After 3 months, I got anxious and asked when she'd be back, and ended up crying at the question. I was talked to by my dad, and he said she loved boarding school so much she didn't want to come back yet. Is that how boarding school works? I don't think so. Maybe I've been watching too much TV or reading too much Reddit, but we're in another country, and I swear what they were doing was emotional abuse. It gets worse. After 5 months, I still hadn't gotten any contact. No message, no letters, nothing. And that's when my dad started making her room into his office space. Oh, that's sus. We actually got into a big fight over it, and I ended up with more chores, but he never answered why he was doing it, and if she would be back soon. Anyway, it's been 7 months since that car trip that took my sister away, and the final nail in the coffin hit. I was looking through the attic for my mom, and found a box with some of her old stuff, including her phone. Why wouldn't she have her phone? I really just want to know if there's anything I can do. No one will tell me which boarding school she's at, and I'm told not to worry about it because I'm a child. I know I'm too young to do much, but if there's anything I can do, please help. When I think about it, I can't stop remembering the way my mom cried that day. It makes me shiver. I've been imagining the worst, and I'd hate if it ended up being something along my mind. I mean, yeah, I kind of expected this path based on the title and the trigger warnings and the things like that, but you don't expect to read this kind of shit on fucking Reddit, you know? She went to Hogwarts. Phones are such muggle artifacts, honestly. Alright, we're just going to jump right into the update because there's not anything to speculate about. Hi Reddit, it's been a crazy few weeks, but I absolutely needed to update as soon as possible. Sorry my post got locked, and I appreciate everyone who spoke to me via DMs. Sorry to those I couldn't get to, it was a lot. I should get on with the most important of the update, what I finally ended up doing. So thanks to the super community that is Reddit, I was able to get in touch with a few different sources, the least favorite of which was a phone call towards those that help find trafficked children. I knew my family would be investigated and actually went to meet up with another family in that time. So basically a Redditor close to my age who I'll keep private met with me, and she had already shown my story to her family. They ended up letting me stay with them for a bit and made proper calls to make sure it wasn't illegal. I actually even specified that I wasn't running from home and I'd come back after the investigation. It didn't sit so well with the authorities, and I was actually forced to go back home, but it only got stranger from there. I went back home to a completely empty house. Even Grandma was gone, so I was allowed to stay with the other family for the time being. They were extremely kind. For a week I didn't get any news, and bless her mother's heart, but I was told I had a home here no matter the results. So a few days after a week passed, I get a call, and it turns out they found my sister. My family had been taken in for questioning and were placed in holding for quite a while. I'm not sure why they didn't tell me this immediately, though. I don't actually know the full story, but my sister was living close to 700 kilometers away. Yeah, nearly a whole day's drive. It wasn't summer school or boarding school or anything like that. My dad sold her to get married. My mom was off the hook as one, I still needed a parent, and two, she was not in on it until it was a decent way in. My dad and grandma have been arrested though, and I'm back living with my mom and sister now. I'm still in contact with the Redditor that let me stay with her, and I'll forever be grateful. I have no idea what would have happened if I was around when authorities came knocking. She's my angel. On a more depressing note, my sister doesn't speak much, but she seemed to cheer up after I let her read my post. She said she felt abandoned and alone, amongst other things, but seeing how I and plenty of strangers gave their hearts for her made her very happy, so thank you all. Sorry for being so vague here, but I'm trying to protect identities. This isn't over by a long shot. There are still things that are going to happen, but I have my sister back, and that's all thanks to Reddit. Thank you. Wild. Wild. Makes my blood boil what dad and grandmother did. Yeah. 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 That's a lot. That's a lot. It's heavy. It's a lot. We probably won't read any of the comments because there's no telling what's down there under a post like this. But I can see why this is a top of all time post, because it's wild. Okay. Never mind. Hold on. I do wonder what they're doing out there. Okay. Alright. My ex-husband and his new wife made my daughter a back brace out of wood and steel and forced her to wear it. Child abuse and infuriating. Just for the record, everybody. Alright, my daughter is 9 and we share custody by alternating weeks. My daughter says her back hurts now and her arm is tingling. I have a doctor's appointment for her on Monday, and in the meantime, I am trying to remain calm. I confronted my ex-husband about it, and all he would say was one text message where he said his new wife didn't like how my daughter slouched at the dinner table. They aren't doctors, and there is nothing wrong with her that she needs a brace. I fucking want to kill both of them. Is there a way I can get a quick court date or see a judge, because I don't want her going back there. When we divorced, it took a long time to figure out custody. This was posted to r/legal advice, so that's why it's asking for that. And we're going to jump right into the thing, because we already know what's happening because of the title. Firstly, I would like to thank everyone for all the support in my first post and all the supportive PMs that I received. It was really overwhelming in a good way. A few people asked for an update, so here it is. So a lot has happened since I first posted. I called into work while I was trying to get all of this sorted, and one of my coworkers has a cousin who is a lawyer, and she knew someone who was able to help me and file the paperwork. My husband played dumb in court, but his visits got reduced to supervised, and he was ordered to take a parenting class. Interesting. My daughter went to physiotherapy. Eventually, the court reinstated his visitation when he swore he had learned his lesson and was sorry with his otherwise clean court record. I was against it, but the court ruled against me. I gave my daughter her own cell phone that she blah, 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 blah. Okay, I gave my daughter her own cell phone so that she could call me whenever she needed to. On her second visit, it happened again. This time, the brace had steel and fabric instead of wood, and they took her phone too. The next night, she left when they weren't looking and went up the street to a neighbor who was a police officer. The neighbor called the paramedics and her coworkers. They had to cut the brace off of my daughter. because she slouches at the dinner table. Just spray her with a water bottle like a normal person. What the fuck? My husband and his wife were arrested. They got out quickly, but they have been charged and their infant is with CPS. My ex lost visitation and custody, and I'm working on making it permanent. Unfortunately, my daughter's shoulder was dislocated from the brace. It set back her rehab, and part of her arm is still numb and tingling. She needed surgery and is still recovering. She always played sports, especially at school, and did dance, but the doctor thinks she won't ever be able to lift her arm all the way up again. I hate my ex, and he'll see her again over my fucking dead body. Right now, I'm focusing on my daughter while my lawyer takes care of things. That is my update. Wild. 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 I want to see the one. I want you all to hear the one. This one is here. I didn't realize this was a top one. I've heard this one on the Reddit ones posted by Smosh. I just rewatched the episode that this one's in recently, so it's in my head still. Oh, this one too. This one was in the post as well. Some of these titles are fucking wild. And then things took a turn. Interesting. Interesting. I expected it to be higher up than this. Well, if you like Reddit videos, I recommend the Smosh ones because they're very fun. They have one person read the post and then there's two guests and they all chat about it. And it's very good. It's very entertaining. I highly recommend. I enjoy rewatching them at work every once in a while, especially after it's been long enough that I kind of forget how some of the stories go, which takes a while. But they're quite good, and they get quite a lot of good shit going on. Dear God, I hate this. I wish my eyes didn't feel like this. 'Cause that's the only thing that's really like making me feel like I should go lay down and take a nap, is that my eyes are doing stupid shit. No. Am I the asshole for firing my brother after he proposed at my wedding? No. Not if you didn't give him permission first. If you gave him permission to propose at your wedding, then fine. Then you can't be mad at him. But if you didn't give him permission, then no, that is not okay. Am I the asshole for requiring that guests change clothes before they sit on my furniture? Yes. Stop being so fucking annoying. This is an interesting title to have listed as an asshole. So, we'll have that one too. I think today might just be a Reddit day, actually. I think we might just keep going on Reddit for a while. And then stop maybe at like 4 or 5, depending on how long it takes us to get to these ones that I've just opened. So 2 to 3 hours from now. Also, Rookie Max said hello back. And then just do Elden Ring tomorrow and the next day. Because I'm kind of vibing with the Reddit now. So, I don't know if I'm going to do any night streams this week. I haven't decided yet. Those will be kind of decided on the spot. Like if I'm vibing or not. I might end up doing some tonight just so I can stay awake during the times that I need to stay awake. But we'll see about the night streams. Because as we've discussed, I've got a lot of TV that I want to watch and that I need to watch and that I should watch, but probably won't end up watching because I'll end up watching YouTube instead because that's how it always goes. But yeah, I think that'll be the plan for today. But also if like doing Reddit is a good choice if I end up deciding to also do a night stream because these ones tend to upload quite a bit faster, like the VODs tend to go up a bit faster. So, yeah. I'm probably going to end a bit earlier today. Sorry, my brain kept like merging words together. Well, I'm probably going to end a bit earlier today. Anyway, I want to ensure I have a good sleep for tomorrow. Absolutely valid. I stayed up until 1 a.m. the past few days. I know that's probably late for you, but I'm always awake at 1 a.m. unless I'm napping, which does happen. Okay. Am I the asshole for demanding respect from my daughter-in-law? And if she can't, then get the fuck out. I am a young mother-in-law. I'm only 39. I had read that opening line there already, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Only 39? Ma'am, you are 40 years old. That is not an abnormal age to be a mother or a mother-in-law. I think saying I'm a young mother-in-law would have made more sense if you were in your early 20s. That's a little young to be a mother-in-law, but or not, oh sorry, not mother-in-law, mother, to be a young mother. I guess 39 is a young mother-in-law. Is it? It doesn't feel like a young mother-in-law. Like, it feels like a pretty normal age. Like, if you had your kid at 20 and then they're getting married young, or you had your kid at 16 and, you know, then I guess. Oldest son is 22. So, yeah. So, she had her first kid at 17. So, yeah. That's not abnormal. I wouldn't say that that's abnormal. I read it wrong the first time. I'm gonna give that benefit of the doubt. I absolutely read it as I'm a young mother and not young mother-in-law. I don't know why I read it so incorrectly, but I did. I'm sorry. I will blame tired brain and my weird fucked up eyes that are doing some bullshit. Had my kids pretty young, and I'm very lucky that my husband makes a lot of money, so I don't have to work. I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time, and once they started to spread their wings instead of going to work with my husband, I decided I would be a homemaker and be active in the community. That's what I've been up to, and I try to make the community a better place. Now, my oldest son, 22, married, and I was really excited until I met her. In general, she's a very business-focused person and is very blunt. I actively dislike her, but I try to be polite for my son's sake. A few examples of why I don't like her. Her wedding gift I handed over saying it was from me and my husband. She responded back with just, your husband, since I know it wasn't your money that paid for it. Rude. Saying I am volunteering, well, that's not a real job since it doesn't make money. It's passive aggressive, and yes, I've talked to my son about it, and even once with her to try to clear the air. We had a get-together last night, and I made a homemade meal. When I was planning everything, she came up and made the comment with... Am I just not able to read, or is this typed weird? When I was playing... Nope. When I was playing everything, she came... Oh, I think that's plating. When I was plating everything, she came up and made the comment, no wonder I could make a home-cooked meal. I don't do anything else with my day. I can't tell if that was typed weird or if I'm just struggling to read. Could be both. I lost it and told her that she needs to respect me or get the fuck out of my house. She was shocked and started to cry when I did kick her out. My son is pissed and we had a huge argument and he called me a huge asshole. I need an outside opinion. Ma'am, you're not an asshole. You made a home-cooked meal. Just because I think she's jealous. I think the wife is jealous because she can't cook a home-cooked meal because she doesn't know how, and she's jealous of the mom because cooking a home-cooked meal is a good skill to have because home-cooked food, A, cheaper, B, often tastier than outside stuff. But, you know. No, not the asshole. Next. Am I the asshole for telling my brother it's pathetic that he can't do the basics of what his wife did? I love my sister-in-law and brother. They have 2 kids, and my sister-in-law, Rachel, was kind of a stay-at-home mom. She worked from home part-time, but also took care of the kids and all the chores. I was over multiple times, and the house was spotless. Really, I thought she was just extra cleaning for when she had guests, but no. When I had my kids, she showed me her schedule. She would be up at 5 for meal prepping for the whole day. Like, she never stopped, and a lot of her tips helped me with my own home. Now, my brother lost his job, and it was decided that Rachel would go back to work full-time, and he would stay at home. The kids are in kindergarten and 1st grade. He has this on easy mode. I've been over to help sometimes since he just sucks at it. The house is always a mess. The kids are usually late to school. He asked me to drive them after school, talk to him. He doesn't cook, it's just sad. He got in a huge argument with his wife since dinner wasn't done and she had to make it. He was ranting about how it's unfair and that he is trying. I told him it's pathetic he can't do the basics of what his wife did. He has 8 hours free and he can't keep the house clean. I told him she would divorce him if he doesn't stop being lazy and figure it out. He left after calling me a jerk, and my mom is now on me for what I said. Well, if she's so much better at the homemaking stuff, why did she go get the job? Why didn't he go get a new job? I don't understand. Like, did he lose his job because he's, like, not able-bodied anymore? Like, why did he not just go get a new job? You know? I'm looking forward to that nap. That nap is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be a fantastic nap. It might end up only being another hour, because my eyes are annoying the fucking shit out of me. I think I've never had an alcohol hangover, and I never will, most likely. But these weird little, THC, hangovers are fucking annoying. Like, I hate that I can't see properly. It's really fucking frustrating. That everything feels just slightly out of focus. So my eyes are having to work extra hard to fucking see shit. And it's annoying. It's annoying. But I feel like it's too early to call it quits. And I would like to nap for a good hour, maybe 2 hours, so I can't just like pause stream and go nap and then come back. If I just wanted to do like a 15-minute power nap, I would just pause stream and go nap and then come back. But that's not going to do enough. 15 minutes isn't going to do shit. So, you know, we'll power through. We'll power through. Okay. He got in a huge argument with his wife since dinner wasn't done and she had to make it. He was ranting about how it's unfair and that he's trying. Yeah. He left after calling me a jerk and my mom is now on me for what I said. Thank you for the mac and cheese recipes. Updates. I love my sister-in-law. My mom apologized to me. Rachel sent my mom what the kitchen and house looks like. The messages from the school and apparently a text argument about how he couldn't be doing this. She gave him 2 options, get his shit together or get out. I learned a lot more about the situation and learned that he wasn't packing the kids' lunches the last 2 days. I think he just broke his marriage. Fucking moron. Yeah, no, clearly the guy, he's not the asshole. His fucking brother is. I just... It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Get your shit together, dude. Yeah, useless. Fucking useless. Huh? Now the asshole, she worked part-time and did it all. He has no job at all and can't even somewhat cut it. How the fuck were the kids late? I mean, one time can always happen, but consistently, I think being a stay-at-home parent is hard, but with both kids going to school, he should have the time to do most of it. Exactly. The kids are supposed to be dropped off at 7:30 to 8. Classes at 8:15. He has been getting them there at 8:30 most days. I don't get it. I've been late a few times, but the school has called to talk to him about it. Hell, the bus is an option, but you have to wake up earlier for that. Yeah. It sounds like he's just absolutely, completely fucking useless. That's what it sounds like to me. So... Not the asshole, you're not wrong. Sure, it could have been put more elegantly, but sugarcoating wouldn't have made your point any less valid. This is his job now, and he's underperforming. Maybe the subpar work effort is why he lost his other job to begin with. I don't get what he is doing all day. My kids are in school now too, and it takes me at most 3 hours to have the house spotless. Being a stay-at-home parent when the kids are in school must be the life. Like, that is the life, man. That is like my dream, you know? Maybe I'll only go till 3. I'm losing it, y'all. I'm losing it. Like, I don't think I would let myself drive right now. Like, that is, like, where we're at. I think we'll do the ones I have opened and then call it. However long that takes. Oh, it's so weird. My body could not decide if it wanted to sneeze or yawn, which are not similar feelings, but my body was like, we should do both of those things. I will. My body is just not used to being awake through the period of time that I was awake. And I think that's why it's so aggressive. That and the hangover isn't helpful. Okay. Am I the asshole for ditching my assigned bridesmaid at a wedding for one that is younger and a different race than me? I ended up leaving the wedding early. Interesting. One of my good friends from college was getting married, let's call him Tom, to his wife, let's call her Liz, and asked me to be one of his groomsmen. I was honored. I haven't seen him in a while because I live across the country. When I arrived to his city, I was assigned a bridesmaid, call her Kelly. Now, Kelly is a lovely woman, however, I think we were only assigned to each other because we are both black. Liz starts telling me that we are both single and perfect for each other, but there was nothing to indicate that at all besides us both being black. Yikes. Maybe just one of these. I should add as well that Liz has a lot more bridesmaid than Tom has groomsmen. The first night, the entire wedding party went out, and it became clear that Kelly wanted to hook up. I was not into her at all, so I kindly turned her down. She then starts interrogating me as to why. I try to give a generic answer, but she starts listing off all of the reasons why we're so perfect together. I end up saying that I don't do the whole short-term type thing, and as we both live in completely different states, there is no future here. She ends up cooling off, but then tells me that she respects me more for that, and that I am a stand-up guy, and the type of guy she is looking for. During the rest of the time we are there, one of the other unmatched bridesmaids, let's call her Jen, starts messaging me privately, and we hit it off. The next day, wedding ceremony goes well. We have the reception, me and Kelly do our entrance together, and then dance together for a bit. After a bit, I go to the bar, and Jen and I start to dance. At this point, Kelly is giving me dirty looks. I just ignore it and continue having a good time. All is going well until when I'm at the bar. Kelly and Liz confront me and start saying that me dancing with Jen is inappropriate. They start saying that she's too young for me and that it looks creepy. I'm 32 and she's 24, about to turn 25. Okay, that's not that bad, actually. I'm like, oh, it's okay. Me and Jen are just friends. Liz, at this point, is angry with me and starts saying that Jen is in college. She's doing her master's. And that this is her wedding and she doesn't want to see that. Then Kelly starts saying that I must have a fetish for white women. At this point, I realize that there is no logical argument that I can make. I tell Kelly and Liz that I really enjoyed the wedding, but that I need to go to bed early for my flight the next day. I leave to go to my hotel. 15 minutes later, Jen leaves early. 5 minutes after Jen came up, we both get kicked out of the wedding party chat. I later found out from Tom that Kelly was crying her eyes out and that it messed up the night for Liz as well. He told me that he isn't mad at me because he told Liz from the start that Kelly isn't going to be my type. But instead, Liz really wanted to set Kelly up. At this point, I feel terrible that I made it so Liz was not able to enjoy her special night. As for Kelly, I wish she understood that no means no. Yeah. It's not only a little bit racist that the wife was trying to set them up, or the bride or whatever. It is messed up that the boyfriend, that the fiance told the wife, hey, those two aren't going to work together, and then she just ignored him and paired them anyways. It definitely screams hashtag racism. You're right, Jimmy. But then for Jen, right, to get upset, no, not Jen, for Kelly to get upset because of the random guy she was paired with at a wedding that she's never met before, may or may not have more of a feeling for some random girl on the dance floor. Like, I just... This is the type of drama I do my best to keep out of my own life because it's stupid and a waste of fucking time. This is irrelevant, but I bought tickets to see Steve Hofstetter in Omaha this coming Sunday. He's coming to a venue that's literally like 5 minutes from me, and the tickets were only $30, so I bought one. I enjoy his comedy. I've seen him on TikTok a few times, and back when I used to scroll through Facebook's video feed, he was on there every once in a while. But it's not common that people come to Omaha, so I figured I'd check the ticket price and then sort of decide from there, and they were so cheap, I was like, why not? Why not? It's close enough I could walk to it from my apartment. I won't be doing that, but it's technically close enough that I could walk it. Technically. Can you tell that I'm trying my hardest to keep my eyes open? This is really annoying. Because I really want to read these posts. I really do. I'm not actually tired. My eyes don't want to stay open. So I probably am tired, but like I don't feel tired. Like my body feels tired, but my brain doesn't. Oh, fuck, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's stupid. That's what it is. It's fucking stupid. No, you're not the asshole. Kelly needs to get over her fucking self. Not the asshole. This is some next level psycho shit. Let's put the black people together. A woman in her mid-20s is too young for a man in her early 30s. You must have a white girl fetish. These people need mental help. Respect to you for just walking away. I'd have been calling everyone out on their BS. Being possessed by a demon. Honestly, maybe. I don't know why the demon would want my life. Of all options, we're not doing too great over here. I have no money and no friends, no family. So, like, to spend physical human person time with. So I don't know why a demon would inhabit my body, as my body is also broken and requires very expensive medication to do basic human functioning. So, wouldn't recommend. Would not recommend that for the demon trying to take over my body. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. Next post. Am I the asshole for how I, 30s of a male, reacted to my son, 17 male, coming out to me? Reddit deemed this person an asshole, so it should be interesting. It's been 3 years, that's how we got here. Yeah. Alright. It's been pointed out that my title wording makes the post seem worse than it is. I apologize for that. Okay. I've always known my son had an interest in men. He was slow on the pickup of incognito mode, and from the searches he made, I figured he was at least bi-curious, if that's the proper term for it. He hit puberty, since he hit puberty. Well, last year, he started bringing a boy around, and it was obvious they were dating to the point that I figured he knew that I knew, and it wasn't a big deal to anyone. Well, apparently I was wrong. Until yesterday, he told his boyfriend... After school yesterday, he and his boyfriend came up to me and said there was something really important they needed to tell me. My son said that they were dating and had been for a year. Well, I was surprised when he wasn't aware I knew and was a bit thrown off. My mouth moved faster than my brain, and I said, well, that's pretty fucking gay. That'd be funny if you were gay, but it's not funny when it comes out of a straight person's mouth. Now, I thought it was peak comedy, since it is in fact gay. However, I understand that using the word gay in that way gives a very negative connotation, or a negative undertone, hence the mouth faster than brain comment. Now, my son and I are usually pretty edgy with our humor, this being fairly tame for the stuff that we joke about. While probably not appropriate for the situation, it wasn't our norm for a conversation between us. However, he and his boyfriend were very, very upset and left. I'm probably the asshole, but I thought I would check to see if y'all had some advice on what I can say to fix it. He currently won't respond to my texts or calls. I did not expect this to get much traction. He's at his grandparents' house. He told them to tell me he'll be home tomorrow after school. I'll update you after this conversation. Thank you for your responses. There won't be an update because this is a new post. A newer post. This post was posted. Oh, it was 4 days ago. Postal sure could update his post, but whatever. You're the asshole for the wording. I won't lie. As someone who's been out and proud for years, that joke made me laugh my ass off. But your son needed support more than humor. In the grand scheme of things, though, I was expecting much worse from the title. So thank you. So I think if you just apologize and explain that you meant it in a humorous way, that you fully accept him and his partner, you and your son will be fine. Yeah. Dear God. I wish there was a way to make like drunk goggles that made you experience what I'm experiencing right now, because it's wild. Like, I'm not, like, my brain isn't tired, but my body is like, you should go to sleep. And I don't know why. I haven't even been awake that long. I slept till midnight, dude. I slept from like 1:30 or 2 o'clock till midnight. Ah. Yeah, I did get worse suddenly, and I don't know what's going on. My eyes are just like, blur, do the blur. And I'm like, why? Why? I can always save these also. And come back to them later. Withdrawals? I don't think so. I don't think it's withdrawals. I don't know how I could be getting withdrawals from smoking one night in the past, like, 5 days. But, you know. I only made it a half hour. That's really annoying. It is what it is. I think reading also doesn't help, because reading makes my eyes tired pretty fast. I don't know if it's because of the monitor or if it's just the white text on the black background. It usually makes my eyes hurt, so already having that issue and then having to read off of this was a bit difficult. That's just reading. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Guess so. If you say so. So I guess we're gonna call it really early today. I will be playing Elden Ring tomorrow. Maybe tonight as well. But we shall see. Got tired reading. It's been a while though since you've done any reading. I feel that I don't really read all that much off stream anyways. I do a lot of listening and like I listen to a lot of videos and I watch a lot of videos, but I don't really read. Like I don't listen to audiobooks either. I'm gonna go lay down on the couch and take a nap. It shouldn't be too difficult since I've been sitting here falling asleep for the past hour. I think it's so annoying what my body is doing, because I couldn't fall asleep a few hours ago, but now that I am ready to be awake, my eyes are like, no, we should close our eyes and leave them closed. And then once I do that, my body's like, oh, sleep. And then, where was that a few hours ago? I really could have used that at 4 a.m. That would have been really helpful. Or not 4 a.m., 6 a.m. I've only read about 5 book series in my life. I've done more reading than that. I used to read a lot as a kid, specifically sophomore year of high school. I read a fuck ton of books sophomore year of high school, probably like 20 to 30 books that year, which is rookie numbers if you talk to Max, but it's good numbers for someone like myself. Max is one of those, oh, I read 100 books this year, people, so, you know, can't really compare my reading ability to Max. It's not exactly fair. It's fair. I'm just trying to set up, I mean, I'm probably nap on the couch, but it might be difficult with the construction sounds. I just locked myself into a specific kind of adventure fantasy. Yeah, that happens. Problem is, if I try to go nap in the bedroom, I won't ever wake up. I'll just be in there forever, and I'll never actually get back up, and then I'll be in the same position that I put myself in today. But I'm glad I was able to stream at a time where more of you all were able to be here. I know my normal stream time isn't very convenient for a lot of you, as it's towards the end of your day, but it's the only time of the day that works for me and my schedule, so, you know, it is what it is. You know, but I can set all the alarms I want, but if I go to sleep in that bedroom, getting back up is going to be very hard. Even if I set all the alarms and set my light to turn on, it's not going to matter. It won't work. I don't know what to tell you. Speaking of, I think, did I ever turn that off? I don't know that I did. There we go. The lights are off. Honestly, that feels a little bit better in my eyes, I'm not gonna lie. This was unusual for me, yeah. I bet it was. It was unusual for me too. But it was either this or sit around and watch TikTok for several hours, and then I would have only streamed for an hour and a half. So I'm glad I decided to stream when I did, because I got 3.5 hours in, which is not as long as I would normally like, but it's better than I'd expected. Well, I had a day off, so I wouldn't have been able to make it usually. That's fair. At this hour, you would be at work. Or at the hour that I started, you would still be at work, I guess. Jarek's a couple hours ahead of you, so he was able to make it for some as well. But I'm going to go take a nap. Have a good sleep, everybody, and I will see you all at the normal stream time tomorrow. Around this time tomorrow. A little bit earlier than this time tomorrow, actually. But if I decide to stream tonight, I'll let y'all know. All right. Bye-bye.